Master It. A quick and easy way to get you mastering piano today. Written by Emily Lee. Me. My website is https://ebusiness3078.wixsite.com/studio. Published by the 101010 Publishing. This book is dedicated to every pianist in this world who wishes to achieve great things in the music industry and performance world. A special shout out to all my past piano teachers, music teachers in school, and also inspirations. This all started with my big brother Brian, who introduced me to piano when I was a baby. I would not be such a great musician without him, and with my mom's diligence to provide me piano lessons. Cheers to Jennifer Asquith, Raymond Aaron, John Asra, Tim Han, and Will Nicholas Rao for giving me the platform and stage to allow me to grow in my fame and net worth. It all begins with you. My quality of life has been so much better since we worked together, and it shows how much you mean to me through this page of writing. I can't wait to become a great leader like you were to me. Qualifications: PSW, piano teacher, philanthropist, life coach, and student. Emily is a worker and an inspiration to everyone. Here's her list of formal accreditations. Health Science Bachelor's Degree. PSW Diploma. RCM Certification. First Aid CPR Certification. WMIS. And in the near future, Massage Therapy Diploma, Dental Hygiene Diploma, Hairstyling Diploma, and Psychiatry. Emily has plenty of certifications that are from online courses and programs that are not accredited sources. Currently, Emily is getting a Bachelor of Music at Redeemer University. Here is her list of awards achievements up to date. Music and Computers Award, RMTA Performance Award, Diligence Award, Achievement Award, Instrumental Music Award. Emily hopes to participate in the Great Chopin Competition and the Peel Music Festival in the near future. Emily is working towards achieving more in piano in terms of educational achievements and in awards. Table of Contents. There are 11 chapters in this book. The chapters include Chapter 1, Quick Guide to the Best Pianos. Chapter 2, The Early Piano Lessons. Chapter 3, Mastering Hand Technique. Chapter 4, How to Play Piano Like a Master in 8 Simple Steps. Chapter 5, Mastering Your Piano Practice in 7 Steps. Chapter 6, Creativity in Piano. Chapter 7, My Autobiography and Life Lessons. Chapter 8, Music Theory. Chapter 9, A Key to Success in Piano. Chapter 10, Ways to Study Piano. And Chapter 11, Styles to Learn. An extra section is called Discography and Contact Information, which you will learn about me and my studio. Acknowledgements. This book is dedicated to every student who opens this book with curiosity and those who are seeking a relief from all their struggles with music education. And of course, I dedicate this book to John Asraf and Neville Kumar, who got my business to bloom. Forward. This book is made for the pianist and the piano enthusiasts of the world. It will entice you to practice and provide you with a wealth of knowledge about the piano. You will become a master of the keys if you follow the guidelines provided with the pages that follow. Not only will this book help you upgrade your piano playing, but it will also upgrade you into a much better person overall as you become better at achieving your goals and improving your overall disciplinary skills. It will make piano practice easier and performance days a success. As a world-renowned pianist and performer, I recommend this book for every pianist who wants to step into their challenge of mastering the keys. Emily is someone of great integrity and skill, as she has learned from many piano teachers and professors. Everything she teaches in this book is something she practices when she trains herself in music. This book is guaranteed to change your mind and your spirit. Emily has remedies to resolve your musical ailments, which will result in a transformation in your piano playing. May this book be the answer to your many piano questions and callings. Christina P. Quilico. Book testimonies and reviews. Very in-depth book. This book is so valuable for pianists. So much knowledge. Nicely written. I love the writing style. Incredible. What an awesome book. This was a joy to read. I learned so much about piano from this book. This is the piano guide. This book is a job well done. I love the photos and artwork. This book is a collectible. This is pianist must-have. 5 out of 5 stars. This is a masterpiece. Very good job. Lovely. I recommend this book to everyone to read this book. This book is truly a treasure. A quick guide for the best pianos. Chapter 1. In this section, I will go over with you the best pianos to buy during the modern era that are affordable and high quality. We will cover the best electric keyboards models and brands, electric piano brands and models, and acoustic piano brands and models. This section took many years of exploration where I had to travel to many local piano stores and do online research on the different pianos one can buy today. It took quite a bit of experimentation and hands-on experience with these instruments to finally produce this list I'm about to provide to you. I hope you will find this very handy and practical during your search for a new piano model or keyboard. Some people may have different opinions than mine on the kind of piano to purchase, but this does not mean that my list or their preferences are incorrect pianos to buy. In a nutshell, this list is specifically for the average student who's from the middle class to upper class sectors and have interest in buying a real high quality instrument for their practice. The instruments list do not have features such as light up keys or complex digital keyboard features because this is a list of pianos for pianists, not toys or MIDIs for music producers. I hope this helps you distinguish the difference between quality pianos and gadgets. This is a piano catalog for pianists. With that said, let's begin. Electric pianos. So why do people prefer electric pianos? Well, this is a lot less costly and it doesn't require any tuning. So how can a pianist wannabe figure out which piano to buy? Well, here's the solution. To prevent future buyers' accidents, here's a list of electric piano models and brands that pianists and future pianists can consider buying. Firstly, let's start with the classic brand, Yamaha, one of the world's top well-known brands for instruments. Yamaha is precisely the name brand most pianists seek when choosing their piano. They reached their peak popularity in the 1980s and 1990s, then they decreased in popularity in the 2020s. There is still the go-to brand I would suggest to you if you can afford the brand. However, their electric pianos are quite questionable in quality with the price they usually sell at. If you want the best Yamaha electric piano, get it brand new and buy it from your local piano store. The best Yamaha electric pianos are the Aria series, the Home Digital Piano, Clave Nova, and the Avant Grande series. They top the Yamaha electric model list as they have the best keyboards, best pedal functions, and the most realistic aesthetic. These are the pianos I recommend. For pianists, students trying to get, if they have the spending plan, or in other words, a flexible budget of approximately $2,000, Yamaha is the most trustworthy notable brand till this day. Other Yamaha electric models that you can consider are the P series, for those who are not seeking to learn beyond the beginner level of piano. I would not recommend the P series for those seeking piano lessons. The P series would be good for songwriters, young learners, or pop musician, in a nutshell. The next electric piano brand I would recommend to you is the Kawai brand. It is like the Yamaha brand and the Korg brand, as it originated from Japan and is a piano-specific store. It is my favorite piano brand by far, and it has grand pianos, upright pianos, digital pianos, and hybrid pianos. Their pianos have excellent keyboard feel and sound quality. In general, all Kawai pianos will be good for any students, as all their pianos are excellent for learning and practicing. This is my top recommended brand for piano to choose from if you wish to learn piano properly. My favorite Kawai piano models are the US models and the Shigeru Kawai grand pianos. They're just exquisite to play on, and their keyboard action is excellent. I highly recommend a Kawai piano if all the piano options are confusing. The next brand to discuss are Roland, Casio, and Korg. They are what is believed to be the next generation of the new popular electric piano brands. They began to grow in popularity since the 2010s and 2020s. The best model for Casio is the Salviano pianos. Their Grand Hybrids and the AP series have an excellent hammer action keyboard, and they have superb sound quality. The touch of their keys is incomparable to Yamaha pianos, and they are primarily sold at a lot of local piano stores, and you can test them out before you purchase one. Meanwhile, the best from Roland includes the LX series, the GP series, and the Kaiola. They have the best structure, music stands, sound, feel, and aesthetic especially. They have the top build and quality you can get from an electric piano. You can trust the Roland brand to give you the quality level you seek. It is recommended piano brand from a professional piano teacher. The next brand to talk about is Korg. This brand is not as popular as the other three mentioned above. They're a smaller digital piano company, and I recommend their toy pianos. They have a beautiful micro piano which is ideal for toddlers and young children who are not big enough for the big kid piano. The micro piano is perfect for their little fingers and small bodies, as there's only 61 keys and it has a sustain feature. Korg has a smaller selection of digital models options, and their models are like the Donner brands, which we can discuss next. I recommend a Korg pianos for those who do not have the budget for big brand names like Yamaha, Roland, Casio, but want a brand that holds the same level of reliability trust, which have the high quality keyboards. While having high quality keyboards. The Korg piano do not have hammer action keys. The quality of Korg pianos are like the Yamaha P series. The best Korg piano model would be the B2SP. It has all the important features in it. The next brand we'll talk about is the Donner piano brand. They're one of the emerging piano brands of the early 2020s, as they brought some visibility when the pandemic hit the world. Their pianos are very high quality, and the model I recommend you are the DDP series. In general, their DDP piano series are great for their price, and their models imitate those of a grand piano. In addition, the Donner brand is North American, so it's a local company. If you like the Kaiola from Roland, you'll like this brand. In general, Donner is a great low-budget option like the Korg. However, Donner is a higher quality piano brand than Korg, as it has more options. In addition, Donner has great brand to go to if you have other instrumental interests, such as If you like the Coil brand, you'll like this brand. In general, Donner has a great low-budget option like the Korg. However, Donner has a great high-quality company like Korg, as has many options. In addition, Donner is a great brand to go to if you have other instrumental interests, which is like the Yamaha brand. Donner is a brand I trust as they have great customer service and buying options. You can purchase a Donner DDP from Amazon or from Donner website. Its aesthetic is just like that of a Roland piano mentioned as is easy to set up. They also sell accessories for those who like to match aesthetics. The Donner brand is a new Roland. As Donner are one of the few Amazon brands I trust, here are some more electric piano brands that seem reliable. The first one on the list is Fleetwood's brand digital piano, which has hammer action and is built like the Donner DDP 100 piano and the Yamaha Area series, but the keys are a little bit lighter, so you might have to adjust. The next brand I recommend is the Lexus Virtue, as is similar to the DDP 90 by Donner. This piano is okay, it has 3 pedals, and is really cost-effective. The keys are full-weighted, and it has digital features like the keyboard. For those who don't know, an electric keyboard is different from electric piano, as the keys are good for music producers and rock performers, while electric pianos are made for pianists. An Lexus piano is the last resort I'll recommend for any seeking pianist wannabes, as the level of quality is questionable due to its appearance and pricing. However, buying an Lexus Virtue is probably better than getting a 61 keyboard for piano learner, so this is what I recommend you for a super low budget buyer. The next subject I would like to discuss is the chargeable foldable electric keyboard. As a piano teacher, I saw many students owning a 61 keyboard. I would recommend those same students to purchase a foldable electric keyboard, as this at least has 80 keys, a music stand, and maybe a pedal. I own a foldable keyboard. Actually, now I have 3, and it merely costs about $150 to get one. The best brand for a foldable piano is the Fingerdan's folding piano. It has wood grain, it has the best aesthetic, and its cheaper brands like Magicon. In general, foldable keyboards can replace the infamous 61 keyboards, as those 6 keyboards are not recommended for piano learners. Nothing less than 88 keys are recommended for those who are seeking to learn piano from a piano teacher. In general, foldable piano keys are great for people who have very young kids or are students who commute or travel a lot. Foldable keyboards are an excellent option for serious pianists who seek to practice everywhere. The next section we'll look at are the acoustic pianos that I recommend. Keep reading and you'll discover the best pianos in the market today in the 21st century that will make you stand out. The belief I have is the piano describes the pianist and their playing describes their story. Nothing makes you stand out more than owning an acoustic piano, so this is the list for you if you are extraordinary. Acoustic pianos. In this section, we'll discuss all kinds of acoustic pianos. This will include the brands, the types, and the models. We'll even go through the old and used piano brands. This one is the most complex chapter of the book, as it will be written in depth. In future books, this section of the book will likely expand as I'll get more experience with different piano models in the future. If you go on websites like Facebook Marketplace, Kijiji, or eBay, you will likely come across many piano brands that are not well known. These are called antique piano brands. The first section of this chapter will be discussing old piano brands that are still good quality. The antique piano brands that are still good today are Baldwin, Steinway & Sons, Becker, Kimball, Mason & Rich, Weber, Kohler and Campbell, Hamilton & Co., Chickering, Schumann, Heinzmann, and Fischer. It is hard to find a good antique piano if that is the piano you want. You will likely need some help with finding one that's playable. This section will teach you how to find a good antique piano. If you come across a piano brand that's not mentioned in this section, it may be an antique piano brand. In fact, the antique piano brands are not bad quality pianos. There are plenty of antique pianos that are very playable of high value. These will be the cheapest acoustic pianos you'll find on eBay, Facebook Marketplace, and Kijiji, but you may find a valuable one. The trick is you must ask the seller to show you the keys, the pedals, and the piano strings. You must hear how the piano sounds. Every note must work, and you might find some stuck keys. Unsticking acoustic piano keys is easy and not a big deal to fix. The main thing is to make sure that the strings are silver or gold, and make sure that the pedals and the keys work. A Mason and Ridge piano can sell for approximately 30,000 USD if restoration was considered. These pianos tend to be hand-carved and wooden. They're also incredibly beautiful in aesthetic and sound. The second section of this chapter will be discussing standard acoustic piano brands. Discover the most popular piano brands on the market, such as the Yamaha and Koei, or the not-so-famous Cellular, Saute, and Schimmel. These brands generally are the standard piano brands for the average piano fanatics to buy. They are excellent upright pianos, and some of these mentioned brands are grand piano brands as well. By far, Steinway & Sons, Yamaha, and Koei have the best acoustic pianos. If you want a good piano brand and have for churches, music lessons, music schools, and practicing, these three brands are easily the top go-to brands for these purposes. If you want something a little more unique, you can try the Steinkoven, Schimmel, or the Cellular brand, which will be discussed more later. In general, Japanese brands are the most popular, while brands of other origins will be less popular. The third section of this chapter will be discussing high-end acoustic piano brands. This section is by far the fastest growing, along with the antique piano section, as these will be further researched in the upcoming decades of my life. The hopes will be to be able to educate you on the piano no matter what socioeconomic class you're from. So finally, here is a list of luxury piano brands to consider. The piano brands I recommend that are the most luxurious are the Fazioli, the Blüthner, Steinway Sons, Bosnover, Grotian, Seebeck Steingraber & Son, Boghagani, and Shigeru Koei. These ranges from a few $100,000 to $2.5 million in price. Concisely, these are the most expensive pianos in the world and are used in big concert halls, piano competitions, and certain boutiques. If a person owns this kind of piano, they'll have a uniqueness like those of the antique piano owners. The fourth section will be discussing acoustic piano brands from different countries, the European, Asian, Canadian, and American models. This is by far the most difficult section to write about, as it requires so much research on each piano model and brand. To start off, here are the brands which are listed from the most well-known to the least well-known. Koei and Yamaha are Japanese brands. Steinway & Sons and Baldwin are American brands. Pearl River is a Chinese brand. Yongcheng and Semic are Korean brands. Cellular, Schimmel, and Saute are European brands. Most luxury piano brands are from Germany and Austria. Lastly, the most antique piano brands are North American. If you want to know more detail on this topic, you can go to the Alamo Music site, and discover all of the piano brand manufacturers that ever surfaced. If you want to discover their origins, you can inquire Alamo Music, and they will tell you about these different piano brands and their origin story in detail. Piano history is a topic that is fascinating to learn about. Finally, the last section of this chapter will be discussing my favorite acoustic brands. This section will likely expand in the future as I grasp onto new experiences and grow in my socioeconomic status. My favorite brands are the Schimmel and Mason & Rich because of their crystallized timbres in the higher registers and the elegance of the keyboard action. So far, my students really enjoy the crystallized timbres from the Mason & Rich piano, and they like how weighted the keys are. In general, I enjoy the Koei piano pedals as they have the best control for pianists who do advanced pedaling. But the pianos I love most are the Wilhelm Schimmel pianos due to having the greatest pedal control and the beautiful timbre. If you're looking for a unique piano with everything in it, a Schimmel grand piano, it has it all. Purchasing piano accessories. When purchasing piano accessories, make sure you are getting the right tools for your piano and your learning. The first tools you'll need are a piano bench and an instrumental cleaning cloth. They are your essentials when owning a piano. If you decide to place your piano in a dimly lit room or a dark stage, you'll need to get a professional music stand light. You may find most of these accessories on Amazon or on any piano accessory store. Let's first talk about benches. Piano benches all come with different features, shapes, and sizes. Which one will be fit for you? This will all depend on you and your size. If you're tall, you'll not need an adjustable bench. If you're small, you'll benefit from an adjustable bench and a piano pedal extender. If you have many people using your piano, you will need an adjustable bench as well. If you're taking piano lessons, you may benefit from a piano bench that has storage. The piano bench I recommend most piano users to own is an adjustable piano bench with sheet music storage. This is something you can find on Amazon, and the best brands for this kind are Sawmix and Homcom. For other accessories, you can make a DIY instrument cleaning cloth if you do not have the means to purchase a specific instrumental cloth. You will need a soft, dry piece of fabric. In general, you will want a fabric that is smooth in texture and easy to clean. You will use this for dusting your piano. Most store-bought pianos comes with a cloth, but some don't, so it's a good idea to purchase one online. Some foldable pianos come with a cloth too. You must make sure you have one at the end, as this is part of your regular piano maintenance routine. Luckily, you'll only need to use this cloth once a month or weekly. That's it for Chapter 1. A quick guide for the best pianos. Chapter 1. In this section, I will go over with you the best pianos to buy during the modern era that are affordable and high quality. We will cover the best electric keyboards models and brands, electric piano brands and models, and acoustic piano brands and models. This section took many years of exploration where I had to travel to many local piano stores and do online research on the different pianos one can buy today. It took quite a bit of experimentation and hands-on experience with these instruments to finally produce this list I'm about to provide to you. I hope you will find this very handy and practical during your search for a new piano model or keyboard. Some people may have different opinions than mine on the kind of piano to purchase, but this does not mean that my list or their preferences are incorrect pianos to buy. In a nutshell, this list is specifically for the average student who's from the middle class to upper class sectors and have interest in buying a real high quality instrument for their practice. The instruments list do not have features such as light up keys or complex digital keyboard features because this is a list of pianos for pianists, not toys or MIDIs for music producers. I hope this helps you distinguish the difference between quality pianos and gadgets. This is a piano catalog for pianists. With that said, let's begin. Electric pianos. So why do people prefer electric pianos? Well, this is a lot less costly and it doesn't require any tuning. So how can a pianist wannabe figure out which piano to buy? Well, here's the solution. To prevent future buyers' accidents, here's a list of electric piano models and brands that pianists and future pianists can consider buying. Firstly, let's start with the classic brand, Yamaha, one of the world's top well-known brands for instruments. Yamaha is precisely the name brand most pianists seek when choosing their piano. They reached their peak popularity in the 1980s and 1990s, then they decreased in popularity in the 2020s. There is still the go-to brand I would suggest to you if you can afford the brand. However, their electric pianos are quite questionable in quality with the price they usually sell at. If you want the best Yamaha electric piano, get it brand new and buy it from your local piano store. The best Yamaha electric pianos are the Aria series, the Home Digital Piano, Clave Nova, and the Avant Grand series. They top the Yamaha electric model list as they have the best keyboards, best pedal functions, and the most realistic aesthetic. These are the pianos I recommend. For pianist students trying to get, if they have a spending plan, or in other words, a flexible budget of approximately $2,000. Yamaha is the most trustworthy notable brand till this day. Other Yamaha electric models that you can consider are the P series, for those who are not seeking to learn beyond the beginner level of piano. I would not recommend the P series for those seeking piano lessons. The P series would be good for songwriters, young learners, or pop musician, in a nutshell. The next electric piano brand I would recommend to you is the Kawai brand. It is like the Yamaha brand and the Korg brand, as it originated from Japan and is a piano-specific store. It is my favorite piano brand by far, and it has grand pianos, upright pianos, digital pianos, and hybrid pianos. Their pianos have excellent keyboard feel and sound quality. In general, all kawaii pianos will be good for any students, as all their pianos are excellent for learning and practicing. This is my top recommended brand for piano to choose from if you wish to learn piano properly. My favorite kawaii piano models are the US models and the Shigeru Kawaii grand pianos. They're just exquisite to play on, and their keyboard action is excellent. I highly recommend a kawaii piano if all the piano options are confusing. The next brand to discuss are Roland, Casio, and Korg. They are what is believed to be the next generation of the new popular electric piano brands. They began to grow in popularity since the 2010s and 2020s. The best model for Casio is the Salviano pianos. Their Grand Hybrids and the AP series have an excellent hammer action keyboard, and they have superb sound quality. The touch of their keys is incomparable to Yamaha pianos, and they are primarily sold at a lot of local piano stores, and you can test them out before you purchase one. Meanwhile, the best from Roland includes the LX series, the GP series, and the Kaiola. They have the best structure, music stands, sound, feel, and aesthetic especially. They have the top build and quality you can get from an electric piano. You can trust the Roland brand to give you the quality level you seek. It is recommended piano brand from a professional piano teacher. The next brand to talk about is Korg. This brand is not as popular as the other three mentioned above. They're a smaller digital piano company, and I recommend their toy pianos. They have a beautiful micro piano which is ideal for toddlers and young children who are not big enough for the big kid piano. The micro piano is perfect for the little fingers and small bodies, as there's only 61 keys and it has a sustain feature. Korg has a smaller selection of digital models options, and their models are like the Donner brands, which we can discuss next. I recommend Korg pianos for those who do not have the budget for big brand names like Yamaha, Roland, Casio, but want a brand that holds the same level of reliability trust, which have the high quality keyboards. While having high quality keyboards. The Korg piano do not have hammer action keys. The quality of Korg pianos are like the Yamaha P series. The best Korg piano model would be the B2SP. It has all the important features in it. The next brand we'll talk about is the Donner piano brand. They're one of the emerging piano brands of the early 2020s, as they brought some visibility when the pandemic hit the world. Their pianos are very high quality, and the model I recommend you are the DDP series. In general, their DDP piano series are great for their price, and their models imitate those of a grand piano. In addition, the Donner brand is North American, so it's a local company. If you like the Kaiola from Roland, you'll like this brand. In general, Donner is a great low-budget option like the Korg. However, Donner is a higher quality piano brand than Korg, as it has more options. In addition, Donner has great brand to go to if you have other instrumental interests, such as If you like the Kaiola brand, you'll like this brand. In general, Donner has a great low-budget option like the Korg. However, Donner has a great high-quality company like Korg, as has many options. In addition, Donner is a great brand to go to if you have other instrumental interests, which is like the Yamaha brand. Donner is a brand I trust as they have great customer service and buying options. You can purchase a Donner DDP from Amazon or from Donner website. Its aesthetic is just like that of a Roland piano mentioned as is easy to set up. They also sell accessories for those who like to match aesthetics. The Donner brand is a new Roland. As Donner are one of the few Amazon brands I trust, here are some more electric piano brands that seem reliable. The first one on the list is Fleetwood's brand digital piano, which has hammer action and is built like the Donner DDP 100 piano and the Yamaha Area series, but the keys are a little bit lighter, so you might have to adjust. The next brand I recommend is the Lessus Virtue, as it's similar to the DDP 90 by Donner. This piano is okay, it has 3 pedals, and is really cost-effective. The keys are full-weighted, and it has digital features like the keyboard. For those who don't know, an electric keyboard is different from electric piano, as the keys are good for music producers and rock performers, while electric pianos are made for pianists. An Lessus piano is a last resort I'll recommend for any seeking pianist wannabes, as the level of quality is questionable due to its appearance and pricing. However, buying an Lessus purchase probably better than getting a 61 keyboard for piano learner, so this is what I recommend you for a super low budget buyer. The next subject I would like to discuss is the chargeable foldable electric keyboard. As a piano teacher, I saw many students owning a 61 keyboard. I would recommend those same students to purchase a foldable electric keyboard, as this at least has 80 keys, a music stand, and maybe a pedal. I own a foldable keyboard. Actually, now I have 3, and it merely costs about $150 to get one. The best brand for a foldable piano is the Fingerdan's folding piano. It has wood grain, it has the best aesthetic, and its cheaper brands like Magicon. In general, foldable keyboards can replace the infamous 61 keyboards, as those 6 keyboards are not recommended for piano learners. Nothing less than 88 keys are recommended for those who are seeking to learn piano from a piano teacher. In general, foldable piano keys are great for people who have very young kids or are students who commute or travel a lot. Foldable keyboards are an excellent option for serious pianists who seek to practice everywhere. The next section we'll look at are the acoustic pianos that I recommend. Keep reading and you'll discover the best pianos in the market today in the 21st century that will make you stand out. The belief I have is the piano describes the pianist and their playing describes their story. Nothing makes you stand out more than owning an acoustic piano, so this is the list for you if you are extraordinary. Acoustic pianos. In this section, we'll discuss all kinds of acoustic pianos. This will include the brands, the types, and the models. We'll even go through the old and used piano brands. This one is the most complex chapter of the book, as it will be written in depth. In future books, this section of the book will likely expand as I'll get more experience with different piano models in the future. If you go on websites like Facebook Marketplace, Kijiji, or eBay, you will likely come across many piano brands that are not well known. These are called antique piano brands. The first section of this chapter will be discussing old piano brands that are still good quality. The antique piano brands that are still good today are Baldwin, Steinway & Sons, Becker, Kimball, Mason & Rich, Weber, Kohler and Campbell, Hamilton & Co., Chickering, Schumann, Heinzmann, and Fischer. It is hard to find a good antique piano if that is the piano you want. You will likely need some help with finding one that's playable. This section will teach you how to find a good antique piano. If you come across a piano brand that's not mentioned in this section, it may be an antique piano brand. In fact, the antique piano brands are not bad quality pianos. There are plenty of antique pianos that are very playable of high value. These would be the cheapest acoustic pianos you'll find on eBay, Facebook Marketplace, and Kijiji. But you may find a valuable one. The trick is you must ask the seller to show you the keys, the pedals, and the piano strings. You must hear how the piano sounds. Every note must work, and you might find some stuck keys. Unsticking acoustic piano keys is easy and not a big deal to fix. The main thing is to make sure that the strings are silver or gold, and make sure that the pedals and the keys work. A Mason & Rich piano can sell for approximately $30,000 USD if restoration was considered. These pianos tend to be hand-carved and wooden. They're also incredibly beautiful in aesthetic and sound. The second section of this chapter will be discussing standard acoustic piano brands. Discover the most popular piano brands on the market, such as the Yamaha and Koei, or the not-so-famous Cellular, Sauté, and Schimmel. These brands generally are the standard piano brands for the average piano fanatics to buy. They are excellent upright pianos, and some of these mentioned brands are grand piano brands as well. By far, Steinway & Sons, Yamaha, and Koei have the best acoustic pianos. If you want a good piano brand and have for churches, music lessons, music schools, and practicing, these 3 brands are easily the top go-to brands for these purposes. If you want something a little more unique, you can try the Steinkoven, Schimmel, or the Cellular brand, which will be discussed more later. In general, Japanese brands are the most popular, while brands of other origins will be less popular. The third section of this chapter will be discussing high-end acoustic piano brands. This section is by far the fastest growing, along with the antique piano section, as these will be further researched in the upcoming decades of my life. The hopes will be to be able to educate you on the piano, no matter what socioeconomic class you're from. So finally, here is a list of luxury piano brands to consider. The piano brands I recommend that are the most luxurious are the Fazioli, the Blüthner, Steinway Sons, Bosnover, Grotians, Seebeckstein, Steingraber and Son, Boghagany, and Shigeru. These ranges from a few $100,000 to $2.5 million in price. Concisely, these are the most expensive pianos in the world and are used in big concert halls, piano competitions, and certain boutiques. If a person owns this kind of piano, they'll have a uniqueness like those of the antique piano owners. The fourth section will be discussing acoustic piano brands from different countries, the European, Asian, Canadian, and American models. This is by far the most difficult section to write about, as it requires so much research on each piano model and brand. To start off, here are the brands which are listed from the most well-known to the least well-known. Kawai and Yamaha are Japanese brands. Steinway & Sons and Baldwin are American brands. Pearl River is a Chinese brand. Yongchang and Samik are Korean brands. Sigler, Schirmel, and Sautier are European brands. Most luxury piano brands are from Germany and Austria. Lastly, the most antique piano brands are North American. If you want to know more detail on this topic, you can go to the Alamo Music site, and discover all of the piano brand manufacturers that ever surfaced. If you want to discover their origins, you can inquire Alamo Music, and they will tell you about these different piano brands and their origin story in detail. Piano history is a topic that is fascinating to learn about. Finally, the last section of this chapter will be discussing my favorite acoustic brands. This section will likely expand in the future as I grasp onto new experiences and grow in my socioeconomic status. My favorite brands are the Schimmel and Mason & Rich because of their crystallized timbres in the higher registers and the elegance of the keyboard action. So far, my students really enjoy the crystallized timbres from the Mason & Rich piano, and they like how weighted the keys are. In general, I enjoy the Kawai piano pedals as they have the best control for pianists who do advanced pedaling. But the pianos I love most are the Wilhelm Schimmel pianos due to having the greatest pedal control and the beautiful timbre. If you're looking for a unique piano with everything in it, a Schimmel grand piano has it all. Purchasing piano accessories. When purchasing piano accessories, make sure you are getting the right tools for your piano and your learning. The first tools you'll need are a piano bench and an instrumental cleaning cloth. They are your essentials when owning a piano. If you decide to place your piano in a dimly lit room or a dark stage, you'll need to get a professional music stand light. You may find most of these accessories on Amazon or on any piano accessory store. Let's first talk about benches. Piano benches all come with different features, shapes, and sizes. Which one will be fit for you? This will all depend on you and your size. If you're tall, you'll not need an adjustable bench. If you're small, you'll benefit from an adjustable bench and a piano pedal extender. If you have many people using your piano, you'll need an adjustable bench as well. If you're taking piano lessons, you may benefit from a piano bench that has storage. The piano bench I recommend most piano users to own is an adjustable piano bench with sheet music storage. This is something you can find on Amazon, and the best brands for this kind are Somix and Homcom. For other accessories, you can make a DIY instrument cleaning cloth if you do not have the means to purchase a specific instrumental cloth. You'll need a soft, dry piece of fabric. In general, you'll want a fabric that is smooth in texture and easy to clean. You'll use this for dusting your piano. Most store-bought pianos comes with a cloth, but some don't, so it's a good idea to purchase one online. Some foldable pianos come with a cloth too. You must make sure you have one at the end, as this is part of your regular piano maintenance routine. Luckily, you'll only need to use this cloth once a month or weekly. That's it for Chapter 1. Chapter 2, The Early Piano Lessons, Unit 1. As a preface, I decided not to call the section Month 1 as originally written because there are students who learn all the material at different paces. Thus, I will call this the first unit of music lessons, so that all beginners can relate to the section's choice of words while I describe all the materials that they must cover in this period of their first piano lessons journey. Without further ado, the teacher must teach you the basics of the piano and the music learning during the first music lessons. In Unit 1, you, the student, must know how to play what I call the fundamental piano curriculum and understand the basics of piano playing. You must learn the simplest tunes and exercises so that you can begin to read music and recognize simple tunes. This incorporates many other things such as technique, pianist posture, and music theory learning. This is the basis for the next section, which touches base on ear training. In a nutshell, this is an example of what the first week and month can look like for a beginner student who's just started learning piano. The students must have curiosities about the part of the piano in the stage. The first lesson should be about learning topography. They need to learn how to properly place their hands on the piano, and they have to learn about body posture. They need to know their finger numbers and how to read hand coordination in books. They need to know the basics of clefs and notes so that they can figure out long and short notes and which hands to use when playing a certain piece of music in their books. In general, the teacher also need to guide the students on book buying, as they will help make the lessons easier and more engaging for the student and teacher. The best North American method books to suggest for beginners are Piano Adventures, Alfred, Suzuki, Hal Leonard, and Little Mozart. Other great books to suggest for beginners are A Dozen a Day, Frederick Harris Music, Christopher Norton, and all-in-one course books. In general, I would not start students into Frederick Harris music books because they are not method books for beginners. They are the books for examination preparations and serious pianists. Concisely, finding the right method book will help a student and their piano teacher make piano learning much easier and more efficient, especially for amateur piano teachers. If you like to get creative like I do, I suggest you teach piano like Johann Sebastian Bach did and create your own music for your students to play. I will teach the music subjects in impromptu style while creating music on MuseScore. It takes a lot of creativity work to come up with an original teaching method for beginner students, so take my word for it that you will first start with the method book listed above before trying your own music. The first month is the most crucial for the student's success, so be sure to include practice coaching and accountability for the student so they can be off to a good start. Students with accountability usually are likely to practice piano more often than those without it. Make sure they find a practice system that works for them. If they enjoy piano, they'll enjoy practicing. Once they enjoy practicing, they'll enjoy piano even more. Therefore, the first month of lessons are the most crucial for their success. If the student learns the basics of piano, such as topography, fingering, sight reading, and symbols, scales, and fundamental songs, they will be set up for great success later. Topography. Topography is the visual study of the piano keys. This is the most important topic to cover, as this teaches the student what they are seeing when they're at the piano. This will help them understand what part of the piano keyboard are called and where the notes are. This is the most important subject to learn, regardless of musical styles and musical experience. This must be the very first lesson they learn. Piano topography basically maps out the piano for the student so that they know the piano. Fingering, sight reading, and basic songs. These three subjects are the next most important lessons to teach a piano student. Just like when taking guitar lessons, the next most crucial subject to learn in a student's music lessons are fingering, note recognition, and song learning. They need this to learn the next steps. There are online sources for students to learn their basic fingering and note learning. There are websites such as Tira and Sight Reading Factory, which are helpful for students to use towards practicing their note recognition skills. The fundamental songs are Hot Cross Bun, Mary Had a Little Lamb, The Old Clock, and many other nursery rhymes. These songs train the students on basic hand positioning, sight reading, and performance skills. This will also help the teacher recognize the learning style of the student depending on how fast the student learns the new songs. After learning the nursery rhymes, it is a good idea to teach students how to play the
some very easy popular tunes on piano so that the students learn chords and hand coordination. Scales and symbols. Just like song learning, scales are important for the student to learn early on in their lessons, as this helps them learn finger technique and make sense of patterns found in songs they play. Scales are like songs in terms of skill learning, but scales begin to teach the next level of basic hand positions and fingering. In addition, scales teach students how to hear different keys in colors and tonality, which help them train their ears for future music lessons. In general, scales help a student play better, so that it is important to incorporate the scales learning into their first unit of lessons. Symbol learning, in other hands, is great for students to learn if they want to play beautifully and not robotically. We are artistic pianists, not boring pianists. Thus, the introduction to music symbols and terminology will help them grow as a musician so that they can perform better, interpret songs better. I would begin with the basic terms and symbols, and grow the vocabulary database as they reach new levels in musical accomplishments. Music theory can be taught to any musicians, but pianists must know them early on so that they will be able to sight read better, gain learning independence, and we need good sight readers. Thus, in a nutshell, sums up the first unit of a student's piano curriculum. In the next unit, we will cover music theory. In the second unit, students will begin to get familiar with keeping a piano practice journal and learning more music theory. In a nutshell, it is the month when students will have hands-on experience with music theory recollection and start becoming an accountable piano student. Students will learn tempo rhythms so that they will be playing piano with better accuracy. In this time, their learning journey, I'll recommend students to have a practice routine set by their teacher so they have a better idea how to practice when outside of lesson time. The parents of students must get involved more in this stage as they can help with accountability of the student. The second unit of piano lessons may also incorporate harder piano levels, music, as the student begins to gain a better sight reading skill and understanding of music. The student may begin speeding up in their progress. It is not unusual for students to start improvising on piano. They may get creative in their practice sessions, and is normal and something to encourage. Not doing it so can lead to boredom, improvisations, creating remixes, and composing all the creative works I encourage. Pedaling may be introduced later in the stage of piano learning. It's important to educate them on the different functions of the sustain pedal and answer any questions the students have on how to use it. Pedaling is an important skill to learn, but is not urgently needed for the beginners. Unit 3. This stage will be like Unit 2 of the lessons, but it will be the next step in learning advancement. The difference is that in this unit, students will begin to learn how to play music in a well-mannered way and may be trained to play it with proper technique and sound. The student might start setting goals in this stage to learn as they begin progressing through the method books or technical learning, such as technique books like Dozen a Day. Students may begin their journey preparing for recitals or other performances if they are quick learners. By the end of this stage, the students should have the basics of their fundamental skills learned so they can play with confidence and independence. The best resources I have for independent learning are Dr. Josh Wright's Pro Practice Program, YouTube channels like Piano Magazine, Piano, and Synesthesia, and other resources such as Sight Reading Factory, Tiara, PianoSkills.org, and Tone Gym. These help students achieve everything they need to be stronger in their fundamental learning. Please use the method books mentioned above for further lessons learning through the next unit of the student's piano learning journey. Students should begin to sight read, recognize simple tunes, perform ear training, articulate, play songs and scales, use a metronome, count beats, clap beats, recognize musical symbols and terms, and have regular practice. Alright, if you guys are excited for the next unit, we're going to learn the song called Fur Elise, and that will be our piano challenge. So for students who want to learn this piece, there are steps to learn it successfully. You may learn this after 3 units of lessons. Once the student can reach the pedals and reach octave by one hand, the student will be capable of playing Fur Elise. The next thing in this book will not be able to achieve or to teach a student how to masterfully perform unless they learn how to play Fur Elise. This section will only teach the basics of learning Fur Elise so that they can get through the piece without overwhelm. Here are the 5 easy steps to learn Fur Elise by Ludwig van Beethoven. Be aware that this is generally an intermediate to advanced level piece. The first step to learning Fur Elise is to sight read the music as best you can. Please refer to the unit learning section for more information on the things student needs to learn in order to successfully do well in this section. You must know all the basic skills, the basic scales, and the simple chords by this point, and know topography well. Fur Elise is not an easy piece, so be aware of your knowledge and familiarity with the basic curriculum and will testify whether you will do well in this section. The first step to sight read this music. Figure out the notes and then articulations, and figure out the symbols and then add pedaling. Next, you'll learn the main chorus part first. In the first section of page 1 of the piece, before learning the ostinato bridge and Alberti's bass section of the piece. The fourth step is to learn and practice the scale techniques required for these 2 difficult sections so that it sounds smooth when you put it all together. The last step is to add emotions, movements, wrist actions, and interpretation. To really play the piece well, you must know more about the piece, and I highly recommend you do research on it. With trial and error, or with some guidance from online performances, or your teacher's performance, add your own artistic touch to your performance of Fur Elise to make it uniquely your style. If you need to, adjust any difficult parts of Fur Elise to accommodate your abilities. Some students may be too amateur or too small to play the original version of Fur Elise. The teacher may adjust it accordingly for the students as they please, to allow the students to reach difficult octaves or any steps completions here. Accuracy of the performance and hand technique would be the next and last step of Fur Elise mastery. Make sure you have sturdy wrist and smooth wrist movements when playing. Finger strength is the must in order to play the ostinato at the bridge of the piece. Once you have accomplished learning this piece, well done. You have completed this Fur Elise challenge. This is a big milestone for your learning accomplishment, as this piece is a monumental piece to complete. Fur Elise is also an ideal piece for recitals and festival performance, so if you wish, you may use it for it. Thank you for completing this challenge. I wish you all the best towards your next stages in learning. This piece took me 1 year This piece took me 1 year of dedication to learn when I was only 8 years old. So if you were capable of learning it earlier in your stage, this is a big milestone. Anyone can learn Fur Elise if they are guided. With practice and commitment, any musical piece can be accomplished and learned. Memorization is the tough part, so if you feel ready, you can try step 6, which is all about memorization. Let's keep learning. Must-learn piano pieces. The must-learn pieces in piano include the following pieces of music: all nursery rhymes, Canon in D, Minuet in G minor by J.S. Bach, Brahms' Lullaby, Chopin's Nocturnes, Preludes and Etudes, Fur Elise, Aria by George Telemann, J.S. Bach's Well-Tempered Clavier, Beethoven's famous works, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, Christmas Carols, Clair de Lune, Arabesque, Liszt La Campanella, the B-flat minor Piano Concerto by Tchaikovsky, Etude Allegro by Yoshiano Nakata, Lost Happiness by Mendelssohn, Oscar Peterson's pieces, Christopher Norton's works, Robert Starr's Sketch of Colors, and a classic piece called Somewhere Over the Rainbow. More works for advanced pianists can be found in the 2-set violins video called The Ranking Piano Pieces from Easiest to Hardest, featuring Sophie Wee. And next, we'll go to Chapter 3. Chapter 3. Mastering the Hand Technique. Piano Technique. So piano technique will be our next topic. Like playing flute, saxophone, and other woodwind instruments, piano technique requires a lot of finger work. As Maria Lovato says, and it may not be so difficult for you to start learning piano if you have experience with other instruments. So if you're musically experienced like Maria Lovato, you have nothing to fear. Piano technique incorporates scale training, chord training, arpeggio learning, and other similar key-based hand exercises. The most important would be the scale training. This is the most basic piano technique to learn about out of all techniques. If you learn scales, you'll be able to figure out the other piano techniques mentioned above. Start with the white keys scales, then move on to the black keys scales. Learning the major scales first before diving into the minor scales and other scales. This is very important to keep in mind as major scales are fundamental skills. Pianoscales.org is a great website for scale learning, as almost all the scale modes in the world. I recommend this website for any beginners to use as they teach fingerings, and pianoscales.org is what I use to help piano students master scales before they begin RCM. They learn the basics of 8-note scales and the relative minor scales. This is a great source for new piano teachers to use if their students are struggling with scale learning or starting to learn it. The next important technique to learn is chords. There are many chords for musicians to learn, and that can create a piano book on its own. Chords are very important to learn piano. They're very important for learning piano, as the accompanist or accompanist usually play the chords. Pop music is full of chords. All music is built upon chords or scales. These two are the basis of what music is made of, and pianists must master them to play beautifully on piano. Those who are best at piano technique usually play piano with great accuracy and touch. Other techniques mentioned below are based upon the scales and chords you learn in this section. In regards to chords, there are 7 chords, triads, 4-note chords, inversions, jazz chords, and much more. If you learn all your scales, you will learn to know how to transpose chords to different keys. This is an important exercise to learn, as this will help you with more confidence, fluency on black and white keys. You will become a master in every hand position, even the awkward hand positions, and chords are important if you wish to master making patterns on piano. You will become skilled at hand coordination with chord training. The kind of chord training I'm referring to in this the kind of chord training I am referring to is from the Brown Scale Book and the Royal Conservatory's Piano Technique Book. These are the books I use to master chord training like a professional pianist. Learning chords from pop music is different from learning chords for skill building. It would be a good idea to practice those chords exercises close eyes, in different tempos, and in different rhythmic styles. Your finger skills will never be the same in a positive way. Piano technique is by far the most important skill to learn in piano so that you can truly get creative with your music. The first thing I learned when 7 years old is how to play the major scales in every key, without the guidebook or a website. I learned them all by ear and by using trial and error. Then I learned to transpose tunes into those major keys. After that, I mastered all the minor scales and how to transpose music into all minor forms. When you master the scales and chords, you master your basic performance. The next section will discuss other piano technique books I used to become the stellar pianist I am today. This includes Hannon, Alfred Rennie, and Josephy. I recommend every decent pianist to learn these, as every great pianist has learned these as part of their basic piano training. Good luck.
Scale basics. The first step to playing scales is to get the notes. Know which key you're pressing down, please. The next step is to learn the fingerings. There are different fingerings for different kinds of scales. The scales with accidentals are likely to have irregular fingerings. Fingerings will also differ if you're playing a scale that has 1 octave in length to many octaves in length. You'll also face different fingerings if you're playing church modes, jazz scales, and exotic scales. For most major and minor scales that start on a white key, except for those with one hand, like the F major scale, the F minor scale, B major, and B minor, usually the white key scales use fingerings 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for right hand when ascending on the keyboards, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1 for playing descending scales with the right hand. You may also start on a 4 when playing, the exception ascending and descending, like the F major scale, the F minor scale, the B major, and B minor scale. F major in the right hand has fingering as the following: 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you're going down, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1. The B scales on the left hand has the fingering pattern as follows: 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, and going down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Scales may also begin on finger 2 if you're playing scales like a B flat major. Enhance and correct any technical needs. Make sure your fingerings are curled and firm, quite quick and nimble, and that you're playing right on the fingertips and not on the pads of your fingers. The final step to your learning in scales is to master the scales. Practice the scales in multiple ways to find creative ways to help you improve your scale playing in technique and skill. Accuracy, fingering, and technique are the most important things to work on in scales. And there you have it. You have mastered the scale performance and the scale itself. Congratulations! Next, we will go into details about how you can play some of these irregular finger scales. Some of these are hard to do, so here are the steps to mastering these kinds of scales. Jazz scales. The blues scales, the pentatonic scales, and the other type of jazz scales all have this in common. They contain a bigger gap between some of their notes. Beware of these gaps. They may cause accuracy errors and technical challenges. The trick is to find the right fingering to use for them. The trick is you'll need to find fingerings right for you and your hands. The right fingerings can be found by figuring out what feels natural, comfortable, and easy to do. Below are suggestions for the blues. The blues scale, starting on C. Suggested fingering. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Thumbs on C and G. Fingering for D. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Thumb on F and C. Fingering for E flat scale. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Thumb on E flat and A. Fingering for E scale. 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Thumb on G and B. F. Fingering is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Thumbs on F and B. F sharp. F sharp scale. The blues scale. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Thumbs on A and E. The G blues scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. The thumbs on G and D. A flat. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Thumbs on A flat and D. A. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Thumbs on C and E. B flat. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Thumbs on B flat and E. B. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Thumbs on F and B. Tips and tricks. The next section we'll go over are the tips and tricks for better scale playing and technique for recall. The basic skills we'll go over are how to do simple hands turns and finger crossovers. The tips that we'll go over will help you improve your scale playing speed, hand turns, and fingering crossovers. They look like this. When you go to the finger that you're going to do the turn on, you basically, when you're going ascending, you almost do a little flick with your right hand, and with the left hand, it's like almost like a wave, like you're waving your hand from. So when ascending the left hand, it almost like looks like you're doing a little wave to reach to the next note with the finger, and you can see that in the book. All right, and the next step: hand turns hand turns in piano playing can be difficult for some beginners in piano. It is a hand maneuver move that will help with bringing a smooth performance and a steady wrist when playing scales and riffs. Finger crossovers are finger-only movements that helps with scale performances so that one can play long phrases smoothly without making any awkward stops. Finger crossovers are used in a lot of exercises in piano, especially in piano technique. Scales, arpeggios, jazz exercises, and gospel piano all require the skill to be able to do finger crossovers. Hand turns and finger crossovers are both used in these techniques and scales and styles, and are used as opposites of each other when moving about on the piano. Hand turns look like you're waving your hand as you move across the piano towards the hand's thumb direction, and the finger crossing is what you do to accumulate more fingers availability as you do your technique. Hand turns use your wrist, while finger crossovers do not require wrist movements. Hand turns are usually used when playing broken chords and arpeggios, while finger crossovers are used for scales and arpeggios. Mastering these two techniques must be done in order to play piano smoothly. These are the basics of hand technique. In the next section, we'll look at different kinds of technique method books to be used to enhance your hand turns and finger crossovers to ensure you play it with exceptional smoothness. Handin, the Virtual Pianist. This book is used to help you master one thing, agility. You learn to play faster and improve your finger coordination with the Handin book. Exercises 1 to 5 are the easiest in the book. They focus on exercises for your fingers from 1 to 5. Exercises 6 to 10 are for improving coordination. They combine fingers that are focused on pressing. Exercises 1 to 20, labeled preparatory exercises. These are the most famous exercises and are used to develop finger strength and independence. Each exercise contains a sequence of 8 semiquavers beginning on C, which is then repeated starting on D, and so on across 2 octaves. The exercise is then repeated in reverse, down 2 octaves to the starting C. The exercises are intended to be practiced in groups of 3, except for the first 2, which are practiced together. Exercises 21 to 43 are labeled further exercises for the development of the virtuoso technique. This is the most difficult section, and it's meant to be played after the pianist has fully mastered Part 1. Part 2 includes scales and arpeggios. Exercises 44 to 60 are labeled virtual exercises for mastering the great technique difficulties. This section is considerably more difficult, so Handin recommends the mastery of both previous parts before proceeding to this one. This part includes repeated notes, repeated double notes, and scales in thirds and octaves, tremolos, and more. Handin is recommended for students with intermediate piano playing level and a technical level of a level 1B in Alfred Learning Methods series or above. To perform these modulations of each Handin exercise, you need to be playing at the grade 6 Royal Conservatory level or above. One must learn the basics of scale playing to learn how to play Handin properly. It may take a lot of learning diligence and practice to play Handin well. This aim is to be better and to be able to play each Handin exercise at agile speed and with even tones. One must master coordination to play Handin smoothly. Watch Dr. Josh Wright play it. Next book is called Alfred Cortat's Technique for the Piano, or The Rational Principles of Piano Technique. This book is quoted by the reviewer, is excellent for exercises you need to perform for better playing. It is an essential practice book to help you get the best out of your daily practicing while you reach for intermediate playing level. It's simply a book filled with the library on pedagogy for exercises that work on your ostinato, fingering, and pedaling skills, repetition abilities, even as passage of the thumb, double noting and polyphonic playing, finger stretches, wrist technique, and more. In general, the book Les Principes Rationaux de la Piano Technique Pianistique, or The Rational Principles of Piano Technique, is a series of exercises compiled by Cortot in 1928 aimed at devising a piano method around the works of Chopin. Here are the details about Alfred Cortat's piano technique book. Number 1. It teaches you the keyboard gymnastics. The exercises in this book are dedicated to study the movements of the fingers, hands, and wrist. Number 2. It teaches you the rational principles of pianoforte technique. Number 3. This book is for those who want to work on Beethoven, Chopin, Liszt, and Rachmaninoff music. Number 4. This book is daily training book to help you strengthen and tone your fingers and wrist. And Part A, this chapter 1 is focused on playing with evenness, finger independence, and mobility of the fingers. Part B, Chapter 2, is focused on passing under the thumb in scales and arpeggios. Part C, Chapter 3, is focused on the technique of double notes and polyphonic playing. Part D, Chapter 4, is for improvising the technique of finger placement, extensions, and far jumps. Part E, Chapter 5, is focused on wrist technique and executions of the chords. Part F, the last section, covers playing by the octaves with one hand and repertory playing.
The next book we'll cover is a Carl Czerny's School of Velocity. This technique is unlike the other two practice books mentioned before. Hannon and Alfred focus on doing exercise repetitions and specific technique honing like staccato playing and finger passaging. This book does not contain exercises like Alfred Cortaz's book. Instead, it is more like Chopin's 24 Etudes and Hannon's in terms of technique focuses. This book is ideally for intermediate to expert pianists who want to master their scale techniques in both hands. Let's get to the details of the book. According to Vivian H. Slater, Opus 299 is devoted to developing the utmost speed in all types of passage works, from rapid 5-finger patterns of every description, through scales and arpeggio playing, up to the wide stretches, leaps, and broken octaves. The beginning etudes are very short, requiring the pianist to begin instantly at high speeds, much like a 440-yard dash. As the book progresses, the etude gain in length, complexity, and technical diversity. The first 30 are progressive, both in length, if repeats are used, and difficulty. Then in the last 10, there is a leap up to the next level, which brings these final etudes up to the artistic level of Opus 740. In playing, teaching, and listening to the School of Velocity, one finds how much fun there can be in the sheer athleticism that playing the piano requires, such as the countless ways in which the small body muscles can be developed, such as just as the larger ones can be used for the dancer or the largest for the football player. The etudes are most invaluable as a means of training into the ear and discover the melodic threads that are so fascinating woven into the myriad note patterns. The skill required by training the ear to hear these lines and by developing the fingers to balance different weights needed to delineate both melody and supporting voices within one hand helps the pianist to handle similar problems in the music of all the great composers, but the speed is of essential importance in the School of Velocity. Czerny conceived the etudes as being played no slower than allegro molto or presto. One even marked presto volante. The etudes are only pianistically dull when they are plodded through, and only musically dull when they are played with no melodic imagination or dynamic variety. Only does Czerny become the enemy of the pianist and an intense bore. When the etudes are played with enthusiasm and style, they can emerge from the studio and take a proper place in the concert or recital hall. The delicate traceries and patterns of the earlier and shorter ones, like numbers 6, 7, and 10, make attractive encores. Or for bravura playing, there are numbers 12, 21, and 30. For real Viennese flavor, number 39, the presto alla galopade, and number 37, with its scaling leaps, make attractive program pieces. Numbers 34 and 36 are also particularly brilliant and virtuosic. All display the phenomenal understanding of the keyboard and a melodic grace and charm that are the hallmark of Czerny's genius. In his etude, as well as his still too little known variations, brilliants, rondos, opera transcriptions, sonatas, and concertos, Czerny needs only to be heard and assume his former most important place in the world of music. In a nutshell, it is a masterpiece work of Czerny that will help you improve tremendously as a pianist. It is highly recommended that you learn and master it early on. Josephy. This book is full of finger exercises, such as hand and finger exercises, and are repeatable like exercises of Alfred Cortaz's technique book, as they both focus on dexterity and they both train your coordination skills. This book may be easier than Hannon in the beginning, but it progresses until the exercises became way more complicated than those of Hannon exercise books. These exercises are ideal for the student who might be studying Chopin etudes or Liszt La Campanella. According to Edward Hughes, which made Josephy stand out was the fact that Josephy's ideas on fingering were illuminating and his method of practice for overcoming specific technical difficulties in a study are quite invaluable. This implies that the School of Velocity, the School of Advanced Piano Playing Exercises book, where all these exercises help you achieve the level of technical expertise as Josephy himself once mastered. As Josephine was a student of Liszt, it made sense that exercise books have created exercises that are like Liszt work, such as exercise 2 and 4, which also resembles the exercises found in Alfred Cortot's piano technique book. This book is highly recommended for any student that is studying advanced work such as music from Liszt. Next, we'll cover Chapter 4, which is about how to play piano like a master in 8 steps. Chapter 4, How to Play Piano Like a Master in 8 Easy Steps. In this section, we'll go over how you can play the piano like a professional pianist in 8 easy steps. Although these steps may seem simple, they are not easy to do. It will take time to master each of them. The best way to attain these skills naturally is to practice daily until you overcome the awkward stage. There will be days full of errors and horrible playing technique. You'll just have to practice your way through it. Without further ado, here are the 8 steps to master piano. Step 1. Listen and learn to play by ear. This will help you improve your improvisational skills and your ear training skills. In addition, playing to professional pianists will help you play better as it inspires you musically. The more various the music listen to, the better you will play. If you listen to chords, it will help you improve your ear training. If you listen to complex melodies, it will improve your relative pitch and melodic dictation. Jazz musicians do this, and boy, do they have a great playing and hearing abilities. You can achieve wonders by becoming a better music listener. Try to analyze what you hear next time you listen to music, and do your best to play what you hear. This is a fantastic way for novice pianists to develop their unique styles and techniques. Glide over keys. Step 2. Instead of hitting notes, practice by being prepared and smooth when playing far-reach notes. When you hit the notes on the piano, it may sound harsher on ears or become something very discordant. Relaxed hand playing and thorough practicing can help your hands flex better over the keys and make you play faster. Another thing to work on is practicing the far-reach notes until you get comfortable with it, so that they don't sound awkward anymore. Focus on how you sound instead of the pressed keys. Number 3. Learn proper rhythm. Without tempo and rhythm, every piece you play on the piano will sound amateurish. You need to have it well put together and not sound like you are practicing. Play like you are about to perform a jazz gig. It may be something people can clap to or throughout your performance. If it sounds choppy and out of place, it needs to work. Use a metronome or figure out a way to simplify those complex rhythms. Always start at a slow pace and hear the complex parts in your mind before you play them. I use a trick where you count each note value in a piece as a number of how many of the smallest notes value each note counts as, to figure out how long to hold that note for. For instance, if the smallest note value is an eighth note, I'll count all the bigger notes as this many eighth notes in worth. So a quarter note is worth 2 eighth notes, and a whole note is 8 eighth notes long. If this is too complex, you can just simplify all notes into short notes, long notes, and in-between notes before going into those detailed long counting methods. This will help you get an overall feel of the rhythm and syncopation notes in all your music pieces. Rhythm is the glue to the music. You must have this basic aspect mastered early on in your piano learning. Rhythm helps you sound well put together no matter what you play, and even disabled people can figure out ways to learn the skill. So you have no excuse to not master this asset skill of music. Step 4. Use separate hands. This is important for overall mastering of piano playing. If one hand is not up to par, it needs to work. We will go over this in this next chapter, which is about practice mastery. This chapter will focus more on how to separate hand playing is important in performance. As Tinker Talavera states, the goal for the piano player is to employ the use of both hands flawlessly. However, as a beginner, use separate hands movements. Not only is this easier to start with your right hand, but it will help you gradually ease into playing with both hands. Teachers will often resort to this method and allow their pupils to progress to two-hand playing as they get better. Over time, you will recognize that this practice allows for better efficiency and coordination. In a nutshell, You must master coordination of both hands separately in order to sound good together, especially when playing complex advanced pieces like La Campanella or Chopin etudes. Even the piano technique books require you to use this tip, as you need to coordinate each hand to figure out the fingerings respectively for each hand. You need to have the two well-coordinated hands to play it well overall. Develop this skill so that your one-handed solo performances improve too. Step 5. Memorize your music. Regarding memory, it is just as important skill to achieve if you are attaining a mastery of something. You memorize your speeches, you memorize your piano music. You memorize it so that it becomes second nature and known by heart whenever you play the piano. As worded by Tinker Talavera, it is not an easy task for a beginner to memorize music, but it will help you play more fluid. It will help you make your playing more fluid. Memorizing the notes and chords by splitting your sheet music into different sections, learn each section independently and try playing before bedtime. Late night playing enhances your awareness of the piece and allows you to drift off to sleep thinking about the music. Memorization really is the key to long-term mastery of music. Playing as learning a piece becomes the same as learning to ride a bicycle. Step 6. Don't focus on speed. Speed playing requires many years of practice, and you're just not there yet. Focus on repeatedly playing a piece accurately versus considering how quickly you can get through it. Speed comes after you learn accuracy and efficiency. And if you practice lots, you can get it there sooner. Step 7. Playing sections independently. Just like playing with separate hands, it is important to not overwhelm yourself with the score. Therefore, play different sections of the music independently. For example, practice the notes that are quarter notes, and as you get better, progress to playing eighth notes and sixteenths. Make sure you try to finish each section with continuity, as in finishing the following section like an endless loop. Step 8. Learn sight reading. It is easy to feel overwhelmed by the notes on paper, so learning the sight reading technique can help you become better and keep your sanity in check. Sight reading will help you anticipate upcoming notes and allow you to prepare for them before needing to play them. Sight reading is an important skill that showcases how well you can pick up new music. It also showcases your skill to note recognition and your ability to perform on the spot. Sight reading, in a nutshell, is a pianist's way of having improv classes. You need to learn how to sight read if you want to know how to read music notation and basic musical elements. Well, these are the 8 steps to mastering piano like a professional. As you well know by now, it requires a lot of practice and time to master these skills. You need to achieve a certain level of proficiency to become a professional pianist, and the good news is that the more you practice, the sooner you'll achieve this level. You'll be able to be confident at the keys in no time once you figure out the skills you need to master from the list. This chapter is also sourced by Music Magazine. The importance of a piano teacher. A piano teacher is very important for your success, as you well know. They act as a guide and as an accountability partner. A piano teacher is very important to have during the early stages of your piano learning, as they will help correct your posture, your hand positions, movements, and performance errors. Piano teachers become very important in the later stage of life when they want to become excellent piano teachers and performance. The piano teacher become a kind of piano coach for advanced students for furthering their skills and performance adequate. Piano teachers such as important roles for students' lives that would be not truly wholesome experience without one. It's like a child without caretakers. This is why I recommend you to take piano lessons with me if you enjoy this piano book content. I can provide you great piano lessons to get your learning curve maximized. I take care to educate you in ways that are traditional and customized so that you learn your best and understand musical material thoroughly guaranteed. In order to be a great performer, you must know how to practice piano well. In the next section, we'll discuss mastering your practice routine so that you can be one step closer to becoming a professional piano player. We'll cover big topics such as creating practice routines and having sight reading mastery. Chapter 5. Mastering your practice in 7 steps. Mastering others is strength. Mastering yourself is true power. Lao Tzu. In this chapter, we'll go over the steps to ensure you master your practice sessions every day like a professional pianist. Whether you want to be a professional pianist or a hobbyist, you can use this chapter to help you learn faster, learn better, and achieve your goals faster.
I highly doubt you want to practice piano tons but stay stagnant forever in your stage of learning. Learn smart in this chapter to make you get the most out of your practice time at the piano. Learn now how to master piano practicing in 7 easy steps so that practice becomes more focused and productive. Step 0. The big goal setting, daily motivation, developing, and momentum building stage. This stage is crucial prior stage that everyone must go through to start this process. You need to be motivated and fired up to get started in piano learning. A good start will boost your learning journey. The next step will go deeper into goal setting, but you'll need to find your big why for playing piano. Finding a reason for learning piano and performing. If you have a goal to become a prodigy or virtuoso, you need a big drive to be successful. If you play just because of a simple joy you get out of a piano, you don't require as much of a drive or motive to practice daily. But once you find your why, use this daily to motivate you to playing piano every day. Know your intentions for daily enthusiasm deep focus. The next step is building the momentum. You need to practice at least 3 days in a row to stick to a routine, but it could take up to 66 days to 365 days to develop a habit. So you need to work on achieving that momentum and be almost on autopilot to practice every day. Once this is achieved, you will find yourself improving in piano easily. It all comes down to your daily practice. You need to master your habit building so the habit builds you. John Asraf. Goal setting. In this step, you'll find out how to figure out what your daily goals are to be and how to become a great goal setter in your daily piano sessions. Piano goals can be confusing and hard to set. However, we can make it easy to follow in this simple step. You need to create a goal that is from the guideline. What are some things you struggle with in piano, and what are your ideal performance? What do you want to work on and achieve in this short period of time of your practice session today? Answer this, and you'll find your answers what you need to set your goals in your practice that day. Good luck. Well done. You've just set yourself a goal. The next mini step is goal achieving. You need to achieve the goals you have just set. To obtain this, you need to be focused during your practice sessions. When you are practicing, have your goals written on a piece of paper or typed on a device nearby in a visible spot. Lay down a game plan for your goals to be achieved by figuring out what your priorities are and what helps you play at your best so that you can achieve that goal that day. Have the mindset of a growing pianist and you will grow to be your best. Do focus during your practice sessions and make sure you've prepared yourself for the practice. Make sure you have met your health needs and have the capacity to stay seated and practice for a long time. Focus on playing piano. If you have something hindering you, like ADHD, ADD, or another learning challenge, you may need to create shorter practice sessions and have a motivation tool to help you practice daily. An example of this is a friend, a plush toy, live streaming your practice, or recording yourself. Another tip is to seek medical help for your ability to focus, which is incredibly challenging when alone. You may need medication or CBT or DBT therapy to help you focus if it's truly unattainable alone. Making your routine. In this step, I will guide you on creating your own daily practice routine. You first need to figure out what your practice materials are. Next, you will focus on how you play your materials for piano. Then you'll construct a general routine for yourself to follow in order to get your previously set goals. Make sure this routine is something doable daily and is easy to do that you can easily commit to it. The final step is to create a game plan for that day's practice session. You need to figure out what needs to be changed in your daily routine to be specific for today's practice. And that's it. You achieved it. Next step will be going over the importance of journaling. Practice journaling. This step is an extra step for the pianist and piano enthusiasts who want to do well in performance. This is when you want to go that extra mile to create a kind of photo album for your piano learning experience, so you focus on your piano much more. Journal it and study it. Like all the successful people out in the world, they start and keep a journal record. This will help you reflect on your own progress and make sure you get better as a pianist. You can journal about your performance anxiety and use it as a therapeutic outlet, or journal about your daily challenges and achievements. You can also pretty much journal about anything as long as it's piano related.
I use a journal about my discoveries during my trips to music schools and the local piano stores. I also journal about my feelings when playing piano and about performance. You can journal about your feelings when playing piano and also about the times when you perform in front of audiences. Finding accountability. This one is the most important step, as if you are someone with a learning disability or a young child. If you need someone to help you check in on you, you'll benefit from this extra step. This step is optional for those who are able to stay self-disciplined in their own piano practicing routine. If you need it, find someone who's caring towards you or someone who has a good record of being persistent daily. I have a father and a mother who lives their daily lives like a clockwork routine, so I have them as my accountability partners to make sure I teach piano on time and practice piano daily. Some people use apps, Amazon's Alexa, or plush toys to make sure they practice daily. Use whatever works for you. Another bonus tip for you is to make sure you are keeping any addictive habits away from your practice time, and I even suggest you stay away from any addictive activities before your practice, such as going on Netflix, YouTube, or social media, or even smoking and drinking, to allow yourself to focus better when you're practicing piano. Keeping your mind off those activities is the key to success. Mastering sight reading. So in this step, we'll focus on sight reading mastery. Learning to sight read like a professional accompanist by following these easy steps. The first section is for intermediate and advanced students learning piano. First, you must find out the clefs, the keys the music is in, and the style of the music. Get the feel of the music in your mind before you play it. Imagine the tune by reading the notes. Make sure you skim the notes beforehand and phantom play it, so you get the feel of the time signature too. Our next step is to play the music and to pay attention to any accidentals, pedal marking, articulations, and dynamics markings. You need to read the piano music like you're about to present the book, passage, reading in English class. Practicing these steps is the key to sight reading mastery. Finally, this is the way to becoming a master sight reader. Next, we'll go over sight reading for the beginners who want to improve their notation, reading skills, and speed. For beginner pianists, you need to practice note recognitions. Have you learned your notes and staff yet? You have the ability to read ledger lines yet? Make sure you know how to do these two things first before you attempt to sight read music. Again, practice daily for improvement. I'll suggest using Quizlet or music reading flashcards to practice sight reading if you're a beginner musician. You need to read music daily and review your note reading sessions so that you can excel in music recognition and song playing. Practice with your piano teacher or piano peers if needed. Music is like a language system. You need to learn it in the same way through much repetition and exposure to it daily. Build a sight reading habit to improve. If you're tech savvy, you can use websites such as Sight Reading Factory, Tone Gym, and Tiora to help you sight read better in no time. Use daily and you'll see results. Make sure you don't start too hard. It is important to find an easier level to start with before trying something challenging to read. Also, it takes a lot of practice to get the hang of these sight reading steps. Pianist hygiene and performance etiquette. There is quite a difference between hygiene and etiquette. Firstly, hygiene for pianos covers piano cleaning and hand cleaning. Meanwhile, performance etiquette basically covers the mannerisms pianists have when performing on stage. It's important that you dust the piano keys every month and clean the keys by disinfecting them whenever a new pianist touches the piano. In general, a good rule of thumb is to clean your hands if you notice your hands are soiled and if your hands are contaminated. Mastering the performance day and cure for performance anxiety. This chapter will cover how you achieve your performance day success if you're doing any recitals, concerts, or performances examinations. Here's some university level tips to help you prepare better for your big performance events. Way before the performance day's dates must be set. You then work towards the date every day by following the steps earlier shown in the previous 3 chapters. When your performance day is approaching, you prepare for performing in front of people as much as you can, whether it's online or in studio. Then you'll need to rehearse on different pianos and locations. Also get used to practicing when you're not feeling good. This will ensure that you won't have a bad day on the performance day. And the last step is to make sure that you're rest well on the night before your big day and that you have all your health needs met on the performance day. Some deep breathing exercises might help. it'll not be a bad idea to do meditation sessions before a big performance. Before your next big performance time, try this meditation I use. It's called 5-minute meditation. You can find it on YouTube. Alright, good luck, and remember to have fun. Every performance is just a marker of your growth journey. Make sure not to be hard on yourself, and just to be in the moment when you play. Your best performance happens when you're present in a moment and playing from your heart. Do not be afraid to do this to rid yourself of performance anxiety. When fear is overcome, beauty is shown. Mastering music skills. In this chapter, you will learn different skills you will require in order to master piano. You'll need to learn ear training and melodic dictation. This will help you become analytical when listening to music. This is very important for musicians who are jazz musicians, rock musicians, free improvisers, and composers. In addition, ear training is part of the RCM and ABSRM piano exam curriculum, and they are necessary for pianists who are performing in big bands and orchestras. You'll need to have a good ear to thrive as a pianist. Mastering ear training and melodic dictation. This is how to master ear training. As someone who has worked with numerous musicians who are great at melodic dictation and learning music by ear, I've gotten on a plethora of learning strategies for this topic. As you know, many people struggle with their ear training, and listening to music analytically is hard to do. It is no natural phenomenon, so you need to train yourself to do so. To become a master at ear training, you need to learn how to hear notes first. Memorize the sound and really hear those pitches of the piano of other instruments. Next, you will practice ear training by using ear training websites or ear training apps. I recommend that you use Tone Gym, Toned Ear, Perfect Ear app, or the Complete Ear Trainer app to practice your ear training daily. Other methods of ear training are to learn guitar and singing to help you really learn pitch, and hearing and using perfect pitch programming music from YouTube. If you want more help, you can also get the Use Your Ear program to further train your ear to become a master oral music analyst. This will be useful if you want to transcribe music, compose music, dictate melodies, and perform ear training. The next section is about melodic dictation and music transcription specifically. Melodic dictation, the ability to transcribe a heard music piece accurately on manual paper. It's a skill to master if you want to become a true professional musician. This skill will be helpful if you're a composer, a music teacher, a guitarist, or simply a musician, as this skill will help you identify exactly what you hear orally. Here are some resources for you to use to help you improve your melodic dictation skills. The YouTube channel called Aro Skills Guru. The YouTube channel is called Aro Skills Guru. It can help you practice melodic dictation daily through lessons and practice quizzes. You can also use Rick Beato's ear training program called Beato Ear Training to help you master ear training like never before. He created an ear training program for babies and young musicians too, which you can use if your children are learning music. I am a longtime fan of Rick Beato's works as he promotes neuro in his early days as a musical dad. He's the father of ear training of the modern age. I hope you find his YouTube channel as enticing as I do. Cheer to you. Chapter 6, Creativity in Piano. In this section, we'll go over how you can get creative in piano. While learning piano, you can incorporate creativity by improvising, composing, and remixing rhythmically. You can start by being more creative in music by becoming more creative when you're playing. By getting into music in your blood. The first step to creative piano playing is to really feel the music within you. Know your music by heart. Next, you have to work on your improvising skills. The easiest way to learn to improvise is to do stage performances or play along with the track. Playing creatively is not as daunting as it may seem on the outside, as you can practice improvising in many ways. Just simply explore ways to connect with music by making up new stuff. Now let's get to the gist of this section so that you can start playing music creatively and beautifully. I hope you can use these tips and tricks to help you improve your creativity abilities in piano. How to practice piano creatively and effectively. I practice creatively by making sure I repeat the piano sections using different techniques or ways so that I get to use different styles of piano playing. One example is to use staccato for everything repetitively. Other ways to change the rhythm of music or change the tempo extremes when playing piano. I also like the technique of blindfolding yourself when playing piano, as these are wonderful techniques to use to improve your piano practice quality. These practice techniques were taught to me by my childhood piano teacher, who told me to practice 3 times in a row, 3 times fast, 3 times normal speed, and 3 times memorized. So now I passed on this tip for you to use. Make sure you also play blindfolded. With that said, you should be able to practice effectively and creatively every time you do it. Make sure you're also having a great goal in mind when practicing. This will further enhance your practice productivity. Be focused on your improvement to show up, as Gart Cardone says. How to compose. In this section, we'll go over ways you can start composing music. As someone with a lot of experience in this field, the best way to compose music is to start improvising first. When you get eureka, go write it down as soon as possible and make sure you get the melody and chords down. The second method to composing is intended composition. That means you compose with the goal to compose something without eureka happening first. The idea is to work within limitations and rules. You have to have an idea of what goal you're aiming for before you begin creating ideas and writing your own music down. You need to find your own rules and limitations so that you know what you're working with. The next step is to learn and research about the kind of composition you're making. Is your work going to be solo work? Will it be a concerto? Will it be a sonata? Will it be a fugue? You need to find out what style and rule you need to follow to compose this style. Write out and brainstorm your composition ideas and details before beginning the composition. Make sure you really research about your compositional style. How to improvise. In this section, we'll go over how you can start improvising on piano. This section will enhance your true creativity skills on piano, as improvisation is the art of creative piano playing. Improvisation is, by definition, means a piece of music that is created without preparation. It means you lose your guard in your piano performance and play freely. You need to have a good sense of what you're doing in order to improvise, because improvisation is not just a mess of randomness. It is organized in a performance. You're improvising a performance, not just playing messily. So keep that in mind when you're learning improvisation, as this is a skill that takes training. All musicians start out as improvisers when they're young and youthful, but they may lose the skill when they are aging. To ensure that you keep your youthful improvisational skills, you must work on it like a gymnast or dancer. Your goal is to build your creativity skills so that you can play without limitations. This is called free improvisations. When you truly master this art, it becomes a sport. To really gain an idea of free improvisation, please research about pianist Professor Casey Sokol and Steve Colvin. They are wonderful piano improvisers in this field of free improvisation, and they are my teachers in this field. In addition, you can research more about this musical style by looking up the word experimental piano music online. My favorite improviser is Cecile Taylor. Here below, you can also read this excerpt from my mini book on free improvisation and composition. This was written as a project done when I was attending York University. Improvisation in 3, 2, 1. Lesson Plan 1. The Unison Exercise. Introduction. This simple structure exercise explores the power of listening and improvisation when learning cooperation. Purpose: to improve one's harmonic and melodic ear training, to improve one's sense of teamwork, vigilance, and overall listening. Requirements: 2 people minimum. Instruments: voice. Instructions: partner up with another person to play piano with. Set the limitations. Pentatonic scales on black keys, 5 notes only. Advanced players can try 12 tones. Begin playing together, only 1 note at a time. Recommendations are to play at a pulse and only 2 notes at a time. Listen for unisons and pause when they occur. Disregard any other intervals for novices. For more experienced listeners, try deciphering the leftover interval sounds in 2 categories, dissonance and consonance. Add a third person to monitor Adding a third person to monitor sorting is optional. Creating new rules and other ideas for unison moments. Glossary of discussed musical terms. Source from the Musical Guide to Theory and Analysis. Textbook by JPC and EWM. Dissonance, a crunchy sound of interval. Dissonance, a crunchy sound or interval. In other words, any diminished, augmented seconds, fourths, or seventh chords. Consonance,
any pleasant intervals or sounds to the ear. In other words, any perfect intervals, thirds, sixths, and tenths. Unisons, two notes that are that of the same pitch, similar to an octave sound but with the same note and pitch class. Perfect octave, intervals that have the same note but played in a different pitch class. Pitch, acoustic frequencies, a sound, but results from how the brain and ears decipher sound waves. Pitch class, a class that assumes octave and harmonic equivalence, same note name, different octave. Interval, musical space between two pitches or pitch classes, either play melodically or harmonically. Harmonic interval, two notes played simultaneously. Melodic interval, two notes played consecutively. Musical range, musical space or distance between the set, highest, and lowest note. Vigilance, crucial for improvising, being careful and watchful person, but not reckless but a strategist. Major pentatonic scale, a type of 5-note scale. Major pentatonic degrees are 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6, or C, D, F, G, and A. The exercise's connection to improvisation. The exercise trains one's ears to listen to the other player and makes them aware of other players. Helps one get a sense of rhythm and pace with the other player. This exercise helps players learn communication with each other. For instance, both players have to be aware of when to come back after a unison exercise or unison moment. They have to communicate by watching each other's actions. They also have to have a sense of the set pulse or tempo. It is important to listen and watch when playing with others. It helps one be vigilant when they're vigilant of what they hear and do. A player needs to be aware of their choices. This is an oral analysis exercise. It helps one hear and decipher sounds analytically. It helps musicians learn to choose notes purposely when attempting to make this exercise sound musical. In general, this exercise helps musicians explore creative approaches to having different adaptations and adjustments. Unisons mark the departure point of set structure. This may lead to random moments of improvisation. Ideas for unison rules. The big question to ask when creating the unison rule is, what do the players want to see happen when a unison hits? It is important to understand that unison is a departure moment for both people. When unison arrives, one may apply these following examples: a moment of free improvisation, cough, stop, slap, clap, tap, do a modulation, change tempo, change articulations, like play staccato instead of legato, do a physical exercise, yell, play semitone below, or let unison note become a suspension. There are endless approaches to unison moments. Remember to relate to improvisation. 1 hour lesson plan. Example layout in detail. Can remove excessive steps whenever possible. 5-minute. Begin the lesson with a moment of connecting with students outside of music. 5-minute. Review different intervals from unison to perfect 8. Explore the terms above. 5-minute. Warm up with regular ear training, melodic and harmonic intervals. 5-minute. Explain the exercise and its rules in a nutshell and answer possible questions. Simple rule to the stage is to say yes for unison, no for not unison. 10-minute. Demonstrate a trial of the unison exercise with students, low pulse, and let them get creative with the unison rule. 5-minute. Explain the purpose of this exercise and how it relates to improvisation. Review terms as needed. 15 minutes. Do the unison exercises again, but with a new mindset approach. Listen carefully to each other. Teacher. Monitor the number of correct and incorrect answers. Extra. If a student is good at ear training, move on to the next steps. If not, keep doing the exercise until they do. 5-minute. Explain the advanced stage of this exercise and proceed. Take time to answer any questions that may arise. 5-minute. Try the unison exercise. Start slowly. Monitor the number of correct and incorrect answers. 5-minute. As students explain and recall the exercise in brief points, ask them to demonstrate the exercise, explain what they heard and learned, and give any feedback regarding the exercise. Have time to answer any questions that arise. Other extra ideas to consider for a lesson. Practice pausing at the unison moments. Practice changing the unison rules. This trains the musician to adjust well. Approach unison rules differently in as many ways as possible. Get creative. Connect the unison exercise to improvisation as much as possible. Apply as much improvisation techniques or tools to the exercise. Keep exercise simple and fun for kids. Adjust exercise to suit students of all abilities, ages, and experience. Thinking, a perspective regarding unison moments, just like jazz solo moments in a band performance. Elements of music. What is music? A guide for beginners. Topic covered. Basic musicianship, phrasing, dynamics, range, styles of music, improvisation, and the basics. Permutations. What is music? According to Oxford Dictionary, it's vocal or instrumental sounds combined in which way to produce beautifully a form, harmony, or expression of emotion. Music is what humans' ears perceive as a pattern of pleasant sounds. As for what we know, only humans can perceive music. Other animals and insects use sound for communication or mating. Humans made music originally from zoomusicology, or animal sounds, and the first instruments were voice, flute, and drums. Basic musicianship. According to Michael Cullen, musicianship is about training the student not just to be a player of an instrument, but also as a musician. Musicianship simply is music theory. It is designed to structured for students with little to no formal musical training. The instrument is basically a machine that will need to be taken away in order to learn musicianship or music theory. Phrasing. Definition from Wikipedia. Musical phrasing is the way the musical shapes and the musician shapes a sequence of notes in a passage of music to allow expression and flow. In other words, phrasing is like speaking sentences and speeches. There are intonations, pauses, and fluctuations in speaking speed. Dynamics, according to Lumen Learning. It refers to the volume changes of a sound or note. In terms also applied to a written or printed musical notation used to dedicate dynamics. Dynamics are relative and do not refer to specific volume levels. There are many different terms to describe dynamics. Forte means loud, and piano means soft. Crescendo means get louder, and decrescendo get softer. Mezzo piano means medium soft, while mezzo forte means medium loud. Ranges. In music, the range or chromatic range of a musical instrument or voice is the distance between the lowest note or pitch to the highest note or pitch. This is in its musical range limit. Every instrument has a limited range, while a voice has a vocal range. Pitch of animals. Can you guess the following animals has high, middle, or low range? Humans. Various ranges. Mouse. High range. Cat. Upper middle range. Dog. Lower middle range. Rhino. Low range. Dolphin. High range. Range has a lowest and highest pitch limit. How wide or small do you think these animal ranges are? Mouse. Small range. Elephant. Wide range. Birds. Medium range. Cricket. Very small range. Humans. Various range. Style of music. Also known as musical genres. Jazz, folk, pop, gestural, improvisation, minimalistic, classical, tribal, techno, reggae, metal rock, sacred, chants, world music, and country are examples of musical styles. Musical styles varies depending on the country of origin and culture. Permutations. Described from Wikipedia. In music, a permutation order of a set is any ordering of the elements of that set, specific arrangement of a set, describing entities or parameters such as pitch, dynamics, or timbre. Permutations can be applied to anything in music. To name a few, permutations can be used with dynamics, sequences of notes, patterns of sounds, phrases, or song forms. Permutations can be applied to improvisation. Improvisations and the basics. Musicians use musical improvisation as a creative activity of the immediate, in the moment. Musical compositions that combines performance with communication of emotions and instrumental technique is spontaneous, unplanned response to other musicians. Sometimes musical ideas are spontaneous in improvisation, but may be based on chord changes in a classical music or other musical styles. Week 2, Lesson Plan, 54 Patterns. Introduction. This simple structured exercise explores different ways to approaching the 54 Patterns exercise. Purpose. The exercise connection to improvisation. To improve coordination, to play and hear two different voices simultaneously. A minimalistic exercise that uses contrapuntal polyrhythms to teach rhythm and important improvisational skills. To create a higher level of knowledge and ability to use creative analysis and critical thinking of the score. To engage one's ability to play, have fun, and think creatively and beyond the score. To be aware of possible patterns emerging from when playing the exercise. Applying observations and hearing skills. Requirements. Keyboard. Instructions. Right hand plays the voice moving forwards, while left hand plays the voice moving downwards. Repeat the section played over and over. Each note on both voices has to be played together clearly. Listen for the times when the first note lands together after every repeat of each hand section. Attempt to move on to the next section that is appropriate for the hand. Keep going until the end of the piece. Be sure to have a steady pace. Watch out for fingering choices for sections with more than 5 notes in a sequence. For advanced players, try to approach the exercise in polyrhythmic ways for added coordination difficulty. Glossary of discussed musical terms. Polyphony. Independent voices played simultaneously. Texture. How tempo, melodic, and harmonic materials are combined in a composition, thus determining overall quality of the sound in a piece. Thick texture contains very many layers of instruments. Minimalistic style music. Form of art music that employs limited, minimal musical materials. Sequences. A series of notes that make a small phrase. Can appear as a pattern of consecutive pitches. Contrary motion. 2 voices moving opposite ways. Similar motion. 2 voices going in similar ways, but not moving by the same interval. Parallel motion. 2 motions moving by the same intervals in the same direction. Contrapuntal. 2 or more independent voices that harmonize when played together. Semitone. Pitch moving by half step. Whole tone. Pitch moving by whole step. Scales. In music theory, a scale is any set of musical notes In music theory, a scale is in any set of musical notes ordered by fundamental frequencies or pitch. Polyrhythmic. Simultaneous use of 2 or more rhythms not perceived as deriving from one another from the same meter. Bifurcation. Accentuations of one note in a series of sequence of notes. About the 54 Patterns exercise. The exercise was composed by an unknown person. It was originally taught by Professor Casey Sokol. Extra info. A good recommendation is to approach each note carefully for beginners. Sturdiness and accuracy is key. Tempo chosen can vary. Focus is the steady pacing of one's playing. The goal is to adjust from one section to the next without the use of preparing oneself and looking ahead. Beginners may struggle with the adjustments at first if scales or both hands' coordinations are unfamiliar. However, with practice, one can enhance their own coordination skill with this exercise. Half-hour lesson plan. 5-minute, connecting with student. 5-minute, briefly explain the 54 pattern exercise in a fun way. Engage the student as much as possible. 10-minute, demonstrate how to do the exercise as the teacher, then let the student try out the exercise. 5-minute, study new terms together. Help students learn quickly by memorizing keys. Learning may vary with disability students. 5-minute, review everything covered and quiz the students. Or our lesson plan. 5-minute, connecting with students. And then 10 minutes, briefly check the 54 pattern exercise in a fun way. Engage the student as much as possible. 10 minutes, demonstrate how to do the exercise. And let the student try out the exercise. 10-minute, study new terms together. Help students find their best way to remember the terms. 10 minutes, try out the 54 pattern exercise with other ideas. Get creative. In other words, try applying polyrhythms and bifurcation. 10 minutes, review everything covered and quiz the students. Option 1, 5-minute, consulting parents. Briefly explain how to monitor their child when they practice 54 pattern exercise. Answer any questions that may possibly arise. Give good ease or hope to the parent. Option 2, 5-minute,
Duet with the student or improvise with the student's older youth while they play 54 patterns. Show other ways to approach or play the exercise. Inspire students not to hesitate or start over when wrong notes occur. Practice journaling. Practice journaling is about journaling down your practice sessions. You can start with journaling about what you have practiced each day. The items may vary day to day, or they may be the same every day. Both are totally normal and okay to do. If the items vary day to day, if you have multiple practice times a day, make sure you create a timetable or schedule for what you will practice each time, so you have an easier. That way you can easily remember the things you need to do. The next thing you need to journal about is whether you practice or not each day. Make sure you do this consistently. Simple yes or no to the question that I practice will work. I start a couple of my students on this regimen, and I help them tremendously on a journey to practice daily. It's like a good food diary when you're to reflect on your habits each day. Practice journaling can even be helpful for reflecting on how you can improve on your music or reflecting on your performance. You can journal about your emotions you feel while practicing or how you feel about your progress in a piece. This will help you figure out a way to help you improve. When preparing for exams, big performance, or piano competitions, you can use this method to improve your performance every day. Performance etiquette. Every person who performs on stage knows how about steps you make when on a stage. The importance of the step may vary depending on how formal the performance is. It is crucial that every performance to learn how to perform on stage. Whether it's for recital, concerto, or for competition, here are the steps to making a great performance entrance and exit. Step 1. Walk onto the stage toward the piano. Step 2. Bow towards the audience. You can put your hands on the piano if you do this if you like. Ladies can curtsy. Optional step. Adjust the bench as quietly as possible if it's not comfortable for you when you sit. Step 3. Do your performance piece. Watch the conductor, if there is one, for the starting cue. Be aware of your hands placement and your posture when sitting. Refrain from restarting when mistakes occur. Always stay calm when performing and be focused and control yourself. Be in the moment. Step 4. When you finish performing, stand up and bow again. Afterwards, go off the stage. Rehearse these steps prior to performance is the key to confidence and success. The performance preparation. It's very important to be prepared for performances. Also give yourself more than enough time to prepare for that. Anxiety is at the minimum. Always give yourself more than enough time to prepare so that the anxiety is at a minimum. Improve on your performance etiquette and work hard on perfecting your rehearsal. You must make sure your performances are well learned and you rehearse many times so you will perform them on your stage. You must become an artist and a coach of your own work. Learn to critique your own work accurately so that you can perform the best when the big day arrives. You need to prepare your pieces, your stage routine, and your pre-performance activities. What you need during your pre-performance includes anything from meditation tool, water, snacks, nail clipper, hand towel, and many distress relief items. ADHD gadgets may be used, emotional support animals, stuffed toys, or a quiet room, a walkway, or a place to lie down may be needed. There are many other things that are not on the list that you may need with you when you wait for your performance. On the night before your performance, remember to sleep well so that you will feel alert and ready. Remember to wash your hands and cut your nails before performing on a piano. How to overcome performance anxiety. The first step to overcome your stage anxiety is to make sure you have repeated exposure to being on stage. If you never have been on stage before, you may be scared or anxious. You need to learn how to overcome the stage fright and make sure you rehearse a lot beforehand. And prepare your pieces many months ahead of time. The best cure to anxiety is to practice. You need confidence. Know yourself well and make sure you get everything you need to stay calm before the performance. Bring encouraging friends and family that helps. Make sure there's someone there for you to support you when you get on stage. You will feel better with their presence in the audience, especially if they cheer you on. Look at the bright future of a standing ovation and getting on that stage. If it helps, try making yourself laugh before heading on the stage. This will relieve any tension you have prior to the stage experience. Remember to breathe and smile. Chapter 7. My story as a musician, developing the musical skills and talents. Before we go on in this book, it's about time you get to know me as your guide and teacher.
I believe that many people want to know about my experience in music and my qualification in piano teaching. Well, here it is. My stories begin in the fall of 1998 when I was born. This story took place in Mississauga, Ontario, in a city near the capital city of Toronto. Near the capital city, Toronto. I was born into a family of 4. It was October 27th, 1998. I was born on a Tuesday morning on a hottest day of the month. It was near Halloween and after Thanksgiving, so there was a lot of decor around the house. I was born in Carter Valley Hospital, and I came home probably the day on my birth. My family was an ordinary middle-class family from China. They're a Catholic Buddhist family, and they live in a rather peaceful neighborhood in the suburbs of Mississauga. I live where I was raised, and I still lived in this wonderful city called Mississauga. I highly recommend this place for people to live because the crime rates are so low, and the education available is great for all ages, and you'll get an inclusive society that has a progressive conservative vibe. The city is probably why I was raised right and well. It was a peaceful day when I was born, and everyone was happy. The drama in my life was soon to begin in the next paragraph. It went down very quick. The first bit of drama that happened was the fact that I was born with disabilities. I had a loose hip joint, and my mom had minor pregnancy challenges with me. You see, I was a big one. It was a big challenge for my mom to give birth to me, as I was hard to conceive. My head and body was pretty developed, and I came out 2 months late. So my mom was very close to having a C-section, and was a blessing that she did not need one at the end. It was a close call. After the drama happened, my family discovered another issue. I had developmental disabilities. My ability to hear was also impaired. They discovered I had many cerebral allergies. It was horrendous for my family, and everyone had to adapt to this news. The worst part about it was the fact that the bad news did not stop there. There was more. As I grew and developed my own pace, we managed to get through some troubles. Here are some. At my very early age, my family discovered that I had hearing impairment and walking issues. Later on in elementary school, they discovered I had ADHD. School's not easy for me socially. It was easy to become a social outcast with my disabilities and challenges. Growing up, I was a real tomboy and a hard worker. I also was very playful. This worked out great in my musical life, as this required me to be a strong, high-achieving, and playful. Piano playing required a lot of creativity and silliness in order to make beauty. I started playing piano at the age of 3. I started playing on toy pianos. My mom got me a toy keyboard and a toy piano to play when little. I started playing them a lot. These toys really benefited my childhood as they transformed my hearing abilities so I could hear pitch. When I was very little, my brother would play piano downstairs on an upright Yamaha, and I would be in the basement or upstairs playing those toys, mimicking what I saw my brother do often. This is how my mom found out I had a talent for playing piano, and this is when she started me on piano lessons when I was only 5 years old. It was on Canada Day when I had my first lesson. It was with my brother's piano teacher. This was before my attention deficit hyperactivity disorder was diagnosed, so classes were chaotic. My teacher, luckily, was very patient, and she eased me into piano lessons 1 lesson at a time. Because of her, I was transferred to learn from her son at my own home, where my mom could be supervising me. This allowed me to find someone more playful and sillier so that I could flourish during lessons. This went on for about 3 years. Eventually, my mom moved me to a Chinese piano teacher when I was at a higher level in piano. This teacher was super nice and helped me accelerate. I was skipping piano lessons left and right and started learning different styles of piano music like jazz and contemporary music. My piano teacher was so good at music theory too. I really enjoyed her lessons, and my ADHD was easy to handle because of how engaging she was. I went to that piano teacher for about 5 years, and at some point I also began composing and improvising on piano. In middle school, I was known as composer and songwriter. Growing up, I went from being someone who no one believed to be a musician to becoming popularly known as a piano prodigy. With the psychiatric treatment received during my early school years, this helped me become functional in school and piano lessons. I was no longer a nuisance. It was a great time for me academically at school, as I was going well and my musical life prospered. I enjoyed life for most of my early youth, and I was still in a safe conservative bubble. I was also Daddy's little girl, and he showed me places around North America. We traveled a lot, and this allowed me to learn more about different cultures and technology around the world. I also got to play on pianos in different places in nearby areas. This helped me become a better pianist and also become more knowledgeable about different pianos. I loved the different piano stores that were in the greater Toronto area and the churches from all over the continent. I got to play on pianos in schools and in restaurants while growing up. During my older youths and early young adult years, I got to play piano at special events at my city and performed on many stages. In grade 7, I got a standing ovation at my school talent show. In grade 8, I won an award in instrumental music performance at my elementary school. In grade 9, I started getting gigs in my performance at my high school and church. I started performing at church, retirement homes, and at hospitals for volunteer hours, which required for high school. Then I got an award in RMTA competition in Toronto for reaching the second round, and as a competitor, I performed the shortest and fastest piece in the whole competition. Lastly, I won many musical awards in my high school years as a well-known popular musician at school. Everyone soon knew me as a piano kid. I enjoyed performing very much. University, I pursued York University for their Bachelor of Music program and got in. During my college year, I studied in all its forms and got a holistic piano education. I learned piano accompaniment, piano pedagogy, free improvisation, music history, theory, jazz, piano for world music, and ensemble performance, and I joined 2 piano clubs. I really enjoyed my college years in terms of education as I met many people, grew as a person, and learned a lot more about the real world. Also got a lot of piano teaching gigs at the local schools. I had to navigate the business world as a female, and it was a bit scary. I was very vulnerable to harassment, assault, and as well, both failing in female and male competitions. I felt as if it was very much fighting for a woman's right because of my competency skills in this world. This was a phase in my university years. I did not do so well financially as a piano teacher despite working so hard. Anyways, my performance skills grew exponentially as a pianist as I got more gigs to play at during these years. At one point, I even played at a homeless person's keyboard because of sheer curiosities about keyboard sounds. It was fun. Eventually, I got my own foldable battery-powered keyboard to play on when taking public transit during my university years, which made my commuting times on car and transit much more efficient. I never considered myself a busker while doing it so matter of fact. Without a doubt, I only played during my commutes because of my dedication to piano practicing daily. I began to enjoy practicing while on commutes. In addition, I learned many other musical talents and musical instruments during my youth, which include voice. This exposure allowed me to compose better for different instruments, and this peaked in university when my professor asked us students to compose for ensemble or small band. I composed my first 2 movement pieces at this time, and it was very spectacular but not very difficult to play. The piano part was so hard that I had a hard time executing during the practice performances. Eventually, I took a break from my performance and composed a phrase of work on my pedagogy skills. This is what we will cover more in the next chapter of the section. My pedagogy years were spectacular. While my personal musicianship life was in a state of development, I also began to teach music at an early stage. I was only 10 when I taught piano and music theory for the first time. I taught at a middle school class and about music theory and taught myself release on piano. Around the same time, I also began being a substitute piano teacher for my brother's piano student. This was a stellar experience and accomplishment as I found my other special gift in music. I was only 15 when I taught the high school music class advanced music theory and then began working at a local music school soon after that. I started teaching piano for money at the age of 16. This was my first job and I really enjoyed it. My high school gave me a large amounts of opportunities which allowed me to flourish as a pianist and a music teacher. I love my musical life a lot. Over time, in the last decade, I worked at over 10 piano teaching companies and began my own musical business in 2015. It was a great experience and I still miss those schools I worked at. However, during my adolescence, something else happened. Remember those problems that used to surface during my life? Well, the problems kept on coming. In my teenage years, I began hanging out with the wrong community that led me downwards in the path in life. I began rebelling to a lot of things, as most teenagers do. I was also very emo. It was a wild time in my life, and I was very glad that I had returned to the right side of life in my mid-20s. At one point, I had a different lifestyle for a decade and was prescribed hormone therapy. This ended shortly after my mental health declined. This chaotic time allowed me to make a lot of wonderful compositions, though. I recorded them and posted them on my Bandcamp website, which is in the last page of this book. You can check them out there. In my mid-20s, I found out the truth through LDS Church and the members. Thus, I lived life according to what God called me to do. Life became much better after that, and my musical life resumed for the better once my mental health improved. In the spring of 2022, I was hospitalized for over a month to recover from my disastrous youth days. The turning point was that summer. I was never the same after that big wake-up call.
I finally saw God, sought the LDS Church, gave to charity and in people in need. I found my life greatly improved after seeking the LDS Church. They saved me for sure, and I converted them as they gave me a volunteer pianist and an organ gig at the LDS Church and helped me improve my references for employment. They were a great help for making sure that my special talents were now appreciated and cherished. Instead of keeping me hidden as a dirty little secret, I am no longer ashamed to be wonderful. This is the same year I began my new career path in healthcare. It was great. I began making more money in 2023 and felt prosperity. I was finding a new great life now. I currently work for my audio piano teaching company. I also do nursing assistance, or PSW, and book writing. My life and future look very bright now, as I look forward to meeting my boyfriend each week. I also have a great plan for my future that is achievable and very prosperous. I look forward to a future that includes becoming a mom in my later years and having a great career life. My boyfriend and I still have a great life together. I also create a vision board for us to hope it comes true. In the end, I want to achieve a peaceful yet rich life, full of strong relationships and lots of accomplishment. I hope I get my dream pianos, dream car, dream house, and job in the next decade of my life. The future looks very beautiful and achievable. That is to become true already. I feel blessed. That it has become a dream come true already. I feel blessed. With this happy life comes the new musical goals and dreams that encompass the hope to enter competitions, got talent shows, and music festivals and more. I hope to work with John Asroff in the future as well with his company. I also hope to build a music school in the future and become business partners with two of my closest friends and mentors. May my piano music transform beautifully as I bring more gifts and great ideas to this world. I hope to see you there. Despite all this wonderful things that happened throughout my life so far, I had faced a lot of troubles along the way during my musical journey. Here are some of those scary moments. During my late teen years, I experienced a lot of scammers scamming me in the music business and in the workforce. I had seen a lot of scary things happen to diverse people like me. I've been bullied a lot while growing up by people all around me, including my own family and people at school, which made things nearly impossible for me to get anything done. I was a victim at the time. After dropping out of university, the pandemic happened, and that was when everything would change. I began really working on myself and was growing in independence. My parents were no longer so controlling of my decisions, and I was given more freedom. While the world was shutting down and less freedom was given to people around me, I felt freed from my controlling parents. Thus I began to earn more money, get more resources, take care of my health much better, and was no longer starved anymore, and began working with wealthy people. I came across many entrepreneurs at the time and began to grow into my true self, which was a high-value piano girl. I was meant to be a girl that did many things. I was meant to be a musician, but also work in healthcare field. I brought my musical abilities to the healthcare field as I healed and entertained many people in the facilities, hospitals, and churches, and helped people as a nurse assistant. I became a great nurse assistant, actually. As of now, I graduated officially and got my diploma. I achieved becoming a caring nurse assistant who has many gifts. As of my state currently, I'm no longer dealing with being in survival mode. I'm thriving and happy. I no longer feel like a caged animal. I have the freedom to leave my parents' home whenever I please. I feel empowered to be free to learn to achieve anything now as this book is getting completed. I now look forward to the next step of my adulthood journey as my relationships and life improve. I no longer live in victimhood style and I'm no longer oppressed. I finally reached nirvana. Soon, I hope to become very rich and start my philanthropy projects as this world needs major improvements indefinitely. It needs to change for the better and I'm going to make it happen. Currently, I'm pursuing dentistry and hoping to become a stellar dental hygienist one day at retirement homes and long-term care facilities. I also plan on studying psychiatry at UTM in the future. I'm taking health science at a local online university. My hope is to become a wonderful citizen, mom, doctor, and a piano teacher. All started with the learning piano. As time goes on, I'll achieve more wonderful things like being able to travel locally and around the world, and buying my first apartment or mansion. By the time you brought this book, I probably have major changes in my current lifestyle with more independence. I have 3 jobs now and I'm enrolled in health science at university. I am also enrolled in 5 academic upgrading courses and I'm very happy now you can see. I'm also currently working with a coach and he's a blessing.
As we end this chapter and go on to the next, I would like you to think of ways that you can make your music change this world for the better, so that you can help me make this world a better place for everyone. Music is so powerful. You have no idea how it could impact other people and how it could affect things. My music has always brought storm-ending results. I hope your music will be your channel to do the same. As an experienced pianist and piano teacher, I hope to one day become someone's role model. To become a professor or headmistress of my own music school is a dream ambition to achieve. I hope to pay it forward and to help more people learn music to better their lives so that this world becomes a healthier world. I hope my music and music education will bring peace to this world and help people bring themselves to a higher quality version of themselves. I really have a passion for music. To see this world transform into my dream world would definitely make people and passion. Would definitely make people and this earth a better place. I want to transform churches and chapels to have a better musical instrument access and help people become educated in music. I want to build multiple locations for a music studio so that this becomes a franchise. I love to collaborate with other musicians and perform everywhere on stages. I want to be a star on Got Talent show and show the world my talent for teaching music and playing music. I want to show the world how magical this gift of music can be. Music changes people. I don't want to be that change, so people become good people of God. If music is your passion too, you'll be able to learn from me and benefit from my music making. Music, I believe, is for everyone and everywhere, without any doubt. I have a big heart for those around me, and I hope to be someone who can save them from their woes. I hope my music will save my senior friends from their aging crisis. I hope my music education will save young people so that they will grow up smart and do well. I hope my music therapeutically will transform those with mental illnesses so they become well again. I hope my music and my music education will help everyone in some way or another within their lives. I hope my music can help homeless people get money when they sell my CDs. I hope to help those who are possessed by demons. I hope to save everyone that exists in the universe because it is my passion. And this is why I teach and play piano. I believe that through the skills and lessons learned through piano, the world will be a much more peaceful place. As of the fall of 2023, I am the opposite of fallen. I have become a successful piano teacher and a PSW. Also got accepted at a dental school and started taking a Bachelor of Health Science. I got over 120 diplomas and certifications from online sources since the pandemic occurred. In addition, as of October, I have a sweet boyfriend and I'm living happily thanks to my God-given talents in music, and I have a great musical career. At church, I'm also called to perform at sacrament times and for other occasions while I teach piano full-time at a local music school. On the side, I'm now a life coach and a personal support worker for the international community, as well as for me to give back to the world. I'm also registered and got accepted into a music program. I have many scholarly plans for my future as I pursue a musical degree and master's for music. I also have plans to study other subjects in college such as massage therapy and hairstyling. I also found a love for learning, and this allows me to improve my musical field. Now I'm living happily and I have a great success story to share with you. I do, however, have some life lessons to pass on to you. Here are some of them. Lesson 1. If you have autism or ADHD, it is best to receive education in the form of online learning or have a tutor teach you. These kinds of learning challenges require a less distracting environment than the controversial school systems, and it's best to be homeschooled. In music, these people will need to be taught by a teacher. It is less reliable for them to do self-taught music learning in the early ages, and when an adult has a long musical education history, they'll suffice their learning on their own. Until then, please get a private piano teacher. Learn one-on-one. I have many piano teachers when growing up. I self-taught when I was 3 years into my music education, and also have a lot of musical family members that helped me grow musically from observing. In addition, I grew up with a strict mom and dad who disciplined me in my music and academic education. Thus, I learned better with all that help. I was able to focus better as a result. This is truly the only way to learn music when struggling with ADHD or autism disorder. Learn from me and try to tutor. Lesson 2. Live and be conservative. Although this does not have a direct musical impact, it does affect your musical education indirectly. This is good for your children's upbringing, if you have them, and this is good for everyone around you. Society will raise you better if in an environment that's conservative, because education and everything else tend to be better off when living in the conservative values. In addition, the best musical education tends to be the traditional way, where music is taught as a fine art. When music is treated seriously, people tend to make better music and to be more talented. In addition, those trained in music, such as those who pursue higher music education are receiving music education from East Asia, they tend to be better performers. In general, conservative lifestyles tend to bring out the most talented individuals and the most intelligent. Conservative lifestyles are the most disciplined and responsible, which means that the person will likely be able to afford music lessons and be able to stick to a practice routine more easily. There simply is a higher chance for musical success if a person came from a conservative upbringing and was raised in a conservative environment with conservative values such as self-discipline and hard work. Everything costs money and everything requires hard work and effort. You need to have these values in order to be successful in music. Lesson 3. Be your unique self. Your true self is a unique personality and quirks. This impacts your well-being and your musical expression. It is very important for you to find your true self so that you can be the best that you can when you perform your music. Everyone has a musical performance style in them. You need to discover yours by experiencing life, experiencing emotions, and experiencing musical techniques. Your fingers and your body kinesiology will become your ingredients for your every musical performance. You will become one with your body and learn to use it when you're performing. The things that you need in order to create a great performance are practice, your memories, and also your heart. You need to master the art of piano performance to be great at it. I found my true self through the church and through experiences in my adolescence. I learned who I am through the people around me and from my own intuitions when alone. I found happiness, which means I found my true self that I'm happy with. The defining features of Emily will be incorporated in my musical performance style. Find your true self, become happy, and be confident in all your quirks. Your personality will be your feisty touch to your next performance. Chapter 8. Music Theory. From the basics of notation to the advancements of counterpoints and harmony, music theory is very vast in its subject category. Music theory is also called elementary music arrangements, and it comes in different levels. Music theory is so crucial for your practical music education that it allows you to grow as a musician. You will become more knowledgeable and liberated as a musician if you master the notations in a holistic fashion. You will become much better as a musical analyst and also as a performer. When you know music theory, it helps you when you improvise and play music that is at an advanced level. Music theory is a very critical piece of education that makes all musicians should aim to learn in their musical lifetimes. Music theory consists of the basics of music education, music terms, music analysis, harmony, music history, and counterpoint. When you master a high level of music, you may start learning music encoding, music engraving, song compositions, and music pedagogy. You can achieve much in this field of music theory as a study of music. Some people will pursue further education in college to master music theory. Careers in music theory includes RCM music theory teacher, professor, musician, and composer. You can work with musicians, become a blogger, or become a YouTuber. Music theorists help musicians learn the rules of composition and explanations in music. They are very important people in the music world as they come up with explanations for why the things are the way they are in music. They help us understand the laws of musical notation and the musical structures. Resources for music theory learning. You can learn and practice music theory materials with Tiora and musictheory.net. They are reliable resources I recommend my students to use, especially when they are young and learning online. These may be very reliable resources for you when you are wanting to learn and study on the go. Resources for beginners are Tone Gym and Sound Gym. These websites that beginners and advanced students can use to practice their music theory skills are in a fun and conventional way. These apps provide ear training games, sight reading games, training, quizzes, exercises, and more. There is so much that a student can do on these fun websites as they explore fun ways to practice their music theory and study. These websites provide a plethora of knowledge on this topic, which will be useful for musicians to use when learning on their own or for reviewing purposes. Music theory for piano. There are mostly 5 levels of music theory for pianists when they take the RCM route in learning. The first 3 levels of music theory fall under the beginner music theory category. In RCM learning system, they use the Elementary Rudiment Theory book series. These books will cover the general studies of music theory. In higher levels, you will study specialized subjects in music theory. There are the basic level of music regiments, then the intermediate level of music regiments, and finally the advanced level of music regiments. Currently, these 3 levels have been made further separated into smaller music theory levels. Music theory begins at the preparatory level in the RCM system. You can start learning credible certificates from the music regiments in level 8. After this level, students will start learning harmony and counterpoint. Let's now go into details about different books and go over what they cover. You'll discover which books will be for you and which level you belong to. This reflects the RCM's music theory education system only. ABSRM is not my specialty yet. Beginner, the basic level. This book is completely for beginners in music theory. The current books that are within this range are from level preparatory to 4. Intermediate level. This book is for beginners who are a little more experienced in music theory. The current books that are within this range are from level 5 to 6. Advanced level. This book is for the well-experienced music theory students. The current books that is within this range are from level 7 to 8. The last components of music theory are music history and counterpoint, level 9 and level 10 respectively. Let me now give you a summary of each level of music theory according to the RCM levels. This is reflected the latest edition in 2016, level preparatory. In this level, you'll learn about music notation, staff, music values, rest values, time signature, scales and triads, explorations of concepts through level-appropriate repertoire. Level 1. In this level, you'll learn about pitch, notation, concepts, and such as accidentals, half steps, whole steps, intervals, scales, and key signatures, melodic writing, and general and guided listening, according to description written in the website of RCM. Level 2. In this level, you learn about major and minor scales with 1 sharp or flat, time signature applications, bar lines, rest, harmonic minor scales, and chord symbols for tonic triads. Level 3. In this level, you learn about major and minor keys with 2 sharps or flats, perfect and major intervals, octave transposition, melodic scales, and dominant triads. Level 4. In this level, you'll learn about major and minor keys with 3 sharps or flats, transposition with clef change, minor intervals, subdominant triads, and writing 4 measured melodies. In this level, level 5, you'll learn more about major and minor keys with 4 flats and sharps, triad inversions, and dominant 7th chords, expanding melody writing analysis through repertoire exploration, and practice exam questions for your music regiments, RCME. In this level, level 6, you'll learn about double sharps, double flats, transposition of major keys up by any intervals, compound meter, augmented and diminished intervals, identification of half and authentic cadences, and introduction to Baroque and classical style music. Level 7. In this level, you'll learn about transposing in any key up or down, inversional intervals, chromatic whole tones, autotonic, pentatonic, blues scales, diminished, augmented triads, diminished 7th chords, melodic writing in minor keys, and an introduction to romantic and modern eras of music history according to the RCM website. Level 8. In this level, you'll learn about alto and tenor clefs. These are C clefs. Learn how to transpose to concert pitch, score types, hybrid meters, compound intervals, triads built on any scale degrees, clusters, quarto, polychords, and the medieval, Renaissance, and world music genres of music. Level 9. In this level, you'll learn about music history. Level 10. In this level, you'll learn about basic harmony and counterpoint. ARCT. In this level, you'll learn about advanced analysis, advanced harmony, and counterpoint. In addition, there will still be more music theory and these advanced subjects
as they branch out into more specific topics for specialists and post-secondary students in this field. You can learn more about these topics in the music colleges around the world. The best schools to learn music theory, as far as I know, are York University, Berklee College of Music, University of Toronto, Humber College, Curtis Music Conservatory, Juilliard, and Capilano University in Vancouver. Other theory books you can browse for further OG music theory education are the former music regiment books. These are broken down into basic, intermediate, advanced levels, and they are each a workbook in themselves. They look like the following. So the beginner level is usually green, the intermediate level is blue, and advanced level is purple. Sometimes you'll see them combined into one, and they call it the Mark Senecki Complete Elementary Music Regiments. Alright, music history. Some resources for learning music history include the YouTube playlist for children called Composers for Kids by Emma Mullins. Also, there is the YouTube playlist called History of Music BBC. That's for older students. And you'll see a playlist of videos there titled BBC Howard Goodall's Missouri Music. In addition, music history can be found online on the website and the university music programs. You can study music history on your own by researching on Britannica website and on Oxford Music websites. You can also research about composers and other websites such as Internet Archives and Groove Music. There are plenty of websites that hold accurate information about music history that you can use, as they are easy to find generally. If you have any challenges in finding those websites, you can also take a music history course in university or music conservatories and find accurate resources there. The great post-secondary school options are Berklee College of Music Schools, Juilliard, Curtis, University of Toronto, York University, University of Western Ontario, Queen's University, Harvard University, and Glenn Gould School, as well as other music schools in Europe and Asia. Most private music studios don't teach music history unless you're taking them through the RCM program. There are plenty of good music schools that are not mentioned in the list because I do not know every music school out there in the world. I only know the ones that are good in Ontario, on Canada, and the famous one that I know and trust. Feel free to browse and research your own about the great music schools in the world and find the right one for you to pursue in that path of music education. As someone who went to study music in the post-secondary school, I highly recommend it if they have a great educational resources than a website alone. In music programs, you get the big musicians, historians, professors, and more. Music history is a very unique study of music, and you can learn so much from the subject. Like regular world history, or any sort of history you study, music history comes from a long way, and they hold much knowledge and subtopics for you to research. I study music history through the RCM curriculum and also through university. Music history is a very interesting subject to learn, and you can benefit a lot from its education, and it can help you understand piano music and composers. Music history can help you understand your genre more, so you can play piano more stylistically and with better comprehension. Except for improvisers, most piano pieces you play are composed by someone else, and it's crucial to learn about them in order to play them well. Chapter 9. The Key to Success in Piano. In this piano practicing chapter, we'll discuss some ways to become a successful person in piano. But now we'll get into the details regarding it. You'll first require a step-by-step system to ensure you practice, train, study, and achieve every day so that you become your optimum in piano. Here are some other tips and skills to help you really become a god in piano. I hope you become a master in piano too. So keep reading ahead and you'll soon learn the hidden formulas and tricks to help you succeed in piano holistically. And remember, patience and diligence are the first keys to success. Training your memory. The first thing we'll discuss is brain training. Keeping your brain sharp is an important aspect of piano mastery. It allows you to be more efficient and thoughtful when working on piano. As you know, George Washington spent the first 4 hours honing his axe before he chopped down the trees. You must do the same as a pianist. Here are some tips to help you memorize your lessons and music better. Number 1, sleep well. You must sleep in a certain amount of time each day to ensure you perform your best each day. When you don't sleep well, you feel groggy and miserable during the day, and suddenly everything becomes difficult for you. Sleeping will ensure you remember things better and can focus during your day so that you'll be able to practice piano better as a result. You need to find out how much sleep you really need to feel great throughout your days. Some people require less, some people require more. So you need to make sure that you sleep around 8 hours.
Good nutrition. Brain food is crucial to ensure you get the best out of your day. Burnout, bloating, fatigue, and other health issues can arise if the wrong foods get into your system. This can affect you when you're practicing piano. To ensure you do well throughout the day, you need to give your body the right nutrition to make sure it keeps you happy, healthy, and at your optimum so you don't crash or lose focus when you need to focus the most. Great pianists usually fuel their bodies with healthy fruits, brain foods, protein snacks, electrolytes, and water to make sure they're able to play piano at their best and focus during their classes. My favorite brain foods are nuts, fish, broccoli, leafy vegetables, dark chocolate, herbal teas, berries, coffee, eggs, turmeric, cinnamon tea, seeds, milk, and water. Some of these things may be something you're allergic to or intolerant of, so be aware of your own body and health before trying some of these foods. Make sure your doctor is aware of your change of diet before trying. Exercise and break time activities. This step is crucial to make sure you're efficient throughout the days. Brain training include body training, where you enhance your brain by working your body. The best exercises for your brain are aerobic exercises and sports. If you do this in the morning before your day starts, it can enhance your focus and sleep better later in the day. When choosing your break time activity, make sure it is something that is not time consuming. That is something that won't bring your energy down. It also has to be something that's not addictive either, so I encourage you to make sure to prepare yourself ahead of time for your break so that you'll be efficiently back to practicing piano like a bodybuilder working out. Number 4, the last step to keep in mind is to add some music training throughout your day. Something you can do is to swap out activities that don't help you do something productive and help you with your music life, such as playing tone jam activities instead of Roblox. This can help you create a healthy candy situation so that you can use your time wisely and make your mind more geared towards liking to do hard things so that piano practice will become easier. That is all that it takes to train your brain so you're doing your best in piano. I hope to see you become a superstar in piano in your future to come. This is the ultimate guide to stardom. These are 4 steps to ensure you're at your peak performance when performing piano each day. These are tips and steps that I have used as a pianist, especially when practicing long hours during my youth days. This is what helps successful people recharge themselves, and this is what I use to help myself. Some people use different methods or approach to train their memories, but the most common pattern is this one. It is what works, and I'm giving you what works. I hope this knowledge is something helpful for you that will give you what you need to help you see your results. Benefits of piano. This section will cover the benefits of piano to your health and upbringing. The benefits of piano are towards your spirit, your body, your mind, and your life. You'll find that piano can change your life in such a positive manner, like learning other instruments can do. However, piano learning is really a better instrument for you to learn, as it's good for your heart and your hands as well. Piano can change your life, as it is good for improving your hand coordination, your focus, your hearing, and your sense of rhythm. Here are some researches done on piano benefits that you can feel assured about your education and piano instrument. According to the blog in Piano is shown to be able to make you smarter, happier, and healthier. The cognitive demands of learning piano can help with everything from planning skills to language development to reducing anxiety and even boosting memory. In addition, Harvard Medical School doctor Andrew E. Butson, MD, found that music listeners tend to have better cognitive abilities and emotional well-being. According to a survey conducted by AARP, music listeners have higher scores for mental well-being and slightly reduced levels of anxiety and depression compared to people overall. Of the study respondents who currently go to musical performances, 69% rate their brain health as excellent or very good, compared to 58% who went in the past and 52% who never attended. Those who reported often being exposed to music as a child, 68% rated their ability to learn new things as excellent or very good, compared to 50% who were never exposed to music. Active music engagement includes those over age 50, was associated with higher rates of happiness and good cognitive function. Adults with no early music exposure, but who currently engage in some musical appreciation, show above average mental well-being scores. As you can see, piano and its benefits has a lot to do with your life and well-being. May this be beneficial to you when you think of choosing to learn more piano in your future. Becoming your own boss in piano. In this section, we'll go over ways
to help you become your own boss in piano. This includes turning your music into a career, reaching stardom in piano, and also becoming your own accountability person. When you reach a certain level of maturity, you also become a boss in piano. The way you do that is to make sure you focus on mastering the first 9 chapters of this book and also staying committed to improvement. When you become your own boss in piano, it means you can reach the stage of piano achievement where you are a master at piano. You have become a professional in music, and you have studied so much piano that you don't need to become dependent on a piano teacher anymore. You become someone else's piano teacher and someone that others rely on for piano learning, and you become a role model for younger people who are in the piano learning process. This is something I strive as a piano professional, to become a boss in piano so I could teach you my wisdom. When you are a boss in piano, you become an authority and someone who is creative in piano. You're both knowledgeable and improvisational with your music, and you bring life to your music. This is called style. This is the true nature of a piano master. You make the music and piano personalized. Chapter 10. Ways to study piano. For children, learning piano can be easy and fun. Things children can do to help themselves learn to use are flashcards, YouTube, websites, audio tracks, and recordings, playing piano games and musical training games, and using music moves methods for teaching, learning with method books, and more. The biggest help to learning would be definitely by learning from a piano teacher. If possible, always seek music lessons from a professional or teaching them yourself. When they have a guide by their sides, children tend to learn better as they like guidance from others. The average child is not self-disciplined, and they require more family involvement to get them focused. Here are these ways of learning expanded in details. Flashcards. It is a good idea to learn from flashcards because it helps with working memory and visual recognition. This strengthens the student's IQ as well as their capability to learn music symbols. YouTube. This is a great resource as it is full of tutorials, piano lessons, performances, and interviews with famous musicians. You can learn a lot from YouTube education. My favorite channels are Rick Beato, Piano Magazine, Josh Wright, Oral Skills Guru, and Piano. You can also look at university or college videos of music lectures where professors teach music students piano in a masterclass setting. I highly recommend these for your children as they thrive and excel in piano. The best part of YouTube is it's free, unless you use YouTube Premium. Websites. Websites children can use are Tone Gym and Sound Gym, Tira, Sight Reading Factory, Piano Online, iMusic School, Let's Play Kidsmusic.com, and Musica's Virtual Piano. Piano Online is a fun game for very young piano learners, and it is on a website called kidmons.com and Let's Play Kidsmusic.com for a similar age group. The other websites for pianists age 5 and up are pianoscales.org and Hannon.com. Hannon-online.com. No, Hannon-online.com. These are many wonderful websites that are not listed in this section, as there are so many. Enjoy the research. Recordings and tracks. I highly recommend oral learning or learning from listening to others because this helps strengthen the ears of the musicians. When you hear professional pianists play, it helps you get a good grasp of how to play the songs and pieces you are learning. I highly recommend you learn this way, especially for classical, jazz, and world music performance. People that listen to Stevie Wonder, Jacob Collier, Herbie Hancock, Oscar Peterson, Cecil Taylor, and Steve Coven. You can also listen to Yundy Lee, Lang Lang, Yurima, Yuja Wong, Glenn Gould, and Eric Liu. There are many great musicians not listened to in this section, but you can find your favorite online. Apps. The apps that are great for children are Ear Gym, Piano Tiles, Magic Tiles, and Lyrica. There are many apps that your kids can use for learning piano, as there are plenty of sight-reading apps. You can also download Musician, Piano Academy, and Flowkey. It's like Simply Piano. Better. Method books. The great method books for your kids include Suzuki, Lang Lang's Piano Academy, ABC of Piano Playing, Alfred, Piano Adventures, RCM, Little Mozart's
Bastion, A Dozen a Day, Christopher Norton, and Robert Starr's Sketches in Colors. For very young kids, you can also use the Little Mozart's method books. For children who are a little more musically experienced, you can use Long Long's Piano Academy, Piano Adventures, and the ABC of piano playing method books. When a child is capable of reading music confidently and are capable of learning piano technique, you can start them on other books listed in the list. For adults, learning piano can appear daunting and chore-like, but it can be just as fun. Adults need accountability too, and I highly recommend that they have an accountability partner or piano teacher to coach them as they learn piano to ensure they do not procrastinate or forget to practice piano. I also highly recommend that adult learners develop a sense of self-discipline too. Unlike children, they're highly developed cognitively and have experience and maturity. This can be beneficial when learning piano as it takes a lot of responsibility and cognitive work. Do so. For adults, I recommend the same materials as youths, except they can skip the preschool tools. I highly recommend posters and printouts for adult learners, as they will be great tools for college-style learning. Get posters of music theory concepts or your favorite role model in piano. This will motivate you to work on achievements in your music journey. Melodic dictation and ear training. You can learn a lot of music by ear. This is another way you can learn music. If you learn music this way, your ear training skills will be very advanced and you'll be able to identify chords and melodies by ear. This skill is called melodic dictation. You can learn melodic dictation when you're learning music the traditional way or through learning by ear. Melodic dictation is not an easy skill and is a very important skill for most university's music students, and it is very hard to learn. Ear training, on the other hand, is commonly found in RCM and ABRSM's curriculums. You can start learning this from a young age. This skill is very important to learn if you want to become a professional pianist or a guitarist. Pianists are required to learn ear trainings so that they can analyze music better. Once you master melodic dictation, you can start transcribing music. This is a great skill to have. Music therapy and sound therapy. Another tool that you can use to help you abundantly reach success with piano is by getting music therapists and sound therapists. Personally, do something called innercising, which is a brain exercise. It helps you focus and calm down my emotions during the day. I get them from a man called John Asraf. He is my spiritual father, and he creates wonderful sound therapies to help people in general to be able to achieve their goals and to get healed from their ailments. He used sound therapy to heal and to motivate people. I trust him with my life and my future. In the future, I'll be business partner with John and help create music therapy tracks for people in need. Sound therapy. Whether you go through Neuro or YouTube or through John Asraf, this tool will help you heal any ailments and improve your performance skill. Everything is sound. Human functions when there are sounds. You have so much sound made in your body alone. Sound therapy is a great way to help your inner body make peaceful sounds by changing any chaos into peace. Sometimes some sounds will cause a different path or process to occur in your body to correct itself. Everyone's bodies are smart. You can fix any ailments with sounds. You can also fix anything with placebo beliefs and supplementations. You can use sound therapy and music therapy to help your mind rewire itself so that it can help you feel inspired instead of expired. I hope you use this tool, especially John Asraf's Innercise programs, to help you overcome stage fright, performance anxiety, procrastination, stagnation, scarcity, fears, poor mindsets, depression, emotional dysregulations, and also music business issues. John Asraf will soon have an Innercise for everyone. Everyone will be able to afford this program with this upcoming new app called Innercise and this other app called NeuroGym. You can also get sound therapy from YouTube as mentioned, and this is also useful for you as you can browse all sorts of binaural beats and all kinds of different meditative spa sounds. I highly recommend you study sound therapy and music therapy if you're inspired to make a better world for us. You can study this at Berklee College of Music, on edX, or in a college campus. I've studied through edX and found this course to be stellar in quality. You'll have so much fun. For babies and young children, you can use Neuro, which is a child and baby-friendly exercise that can help their IQ and EQ grow by listening to the music on the software or app. I've yet to try it, but this first came out in 2013. I was very eager and certain that the software program was a reliable one to use for training your children. I recommend that all parents and guardians use Neuro for their babies and young children, especially if they're developing slowly cognitively. Help them be their best selves as babies so that you can have a great peace of mind as they grow. I would highly recommend Neuro for fetus use. If moms and birthing persons use Neuros for their babies,
They'll see great results. Tracks on this software helps Rick Beato's children. Playing music, especially Cecil Taylor's music, Steve Cohen's music, Stravinsky's music, small music, classical music, cute BGM music, jazz music, are really great for babies. This will help the babies develop into healthy, happy little ones that listen better and have good futures. I highly suggest that you switch to exercise once the child is above 18 years old. Their brain is emotionally maturity will be able to handle the words used in exercises by that age. Just as music therapy and sound therapy are great for musical training, they're also good for your mental well-being and recovery. I highly recommend you seek this resource if you feel stressed out or if you have mental illnesses such as mood disorder. It is also true that music therapy and sound therapy work well for those with neurodiversity. If you have ADHD, ADD, autism, or other kind of learning disabilities, you can benefit from listening as these can help calm you down and increase your focus abilities. I use music therapy to improve my focus and to express my emotions. I'm sure that you will find some good use of music therapy or sound therapy in your life if you have any challenges. Chapter 11. Styles to Learn. Now we will cover the different genres of piano music you'll choose to play on piano. As a pianist, you can choose as many genres of music as possible to specialize during your education. Personally, I've mastered classical music and I've learned jazz music as well. I know many classical musicians that have also mastered contemporary music as well. It is completely limitless and up to you which genre of music you wish to specialize or generalize in. Here are the common genres that are usually played in piano. Classical. The style of music is mostly common used for piano. This is the standard music style by piano teachers everywhere since the beginning of piano. This style of music is what basically all musicians were learning in order to level up their music skills. This style has the most technique required and is the most difficult after jazz music. Classical music is the most beautiful style of music. Jazz. Jazz piano is popular musical style of the modern age. The style is the most complicated and intricate. The style is more modern, and it has more sub-style branches within it. You can find a style that fits you, as there are traditional jazz, blues, swing, bebop, gypsy jazz, and much more. Each style of jazz has its own technical requirements and artistry, and you can experiment with them all. I recommend that you learn jazz if you're a classical or contemporary pianist, since it taught skills that are very valuable. Free improvisation. Some people argue that this is a style of jazz piano, but it isn't. Free improvisation is ideally taught to young children and people who are composers or jazz pianists. Another term that is like the style of piano is called experimental music. Free improvisation in piano can include using prepared piano. This is the most creative style out of all musical styles. The most notable free improvisers are Steve Cohen, Cecil Taylor, and Professor Casey Sokol. Contemporary and lead sheet music. This is the most nuanced musical style. Contemporary music consists of all music from the modern age. This includes pop music, the classic hits, rock music, anime music, video game music, electronic music, movie themes, and meme music. This branch of music is popular on social media and among younger generations. This is mostly the music that people play for fun. This has covered all the genres that I know in piano music. I hope this chapter comes in handy for you when you choose the style of music you want to learn. I suggest that you learn as many of these genres as possible, as each of these teaches you a different technique and artistic style. The best one for you is the one that you like best. There's no objective best style for music of these categories. I hope you find one that is your favorite style. And this is the end of the book. May this book find you well and you find this helpful and interesting. The goal of this book is to help you on your journey of your piano learning life so that you can achieve your dreams and goals faster and more accurately in realistic fashion. I wish you well in your journey towards piano mastery as you proceed with life after learning from reading this book. All the best, and do spread your musical talents and gifts to the world, as it desperately needed that. May the world of piano help you do your services, make a big difference in your life in an ever-positive way. Take care. With love and care, Emily Lee. And more about my studio. Vesley Studio, where piano dreams do come true. Discography, websites, and contact information. My email is e.business.3078@gmail.com. My business Facebook is Vesley Music Studio. Instagram is Emily Lee.
at the Piano Doctor. TikTok is at Miss M Piano. LinkedIn is linkedin.com/in/Emily-Lee-pedagogy. Bandcamp is https://evspiano.bandcamp.com. YouTube is Vesley Studio or Emily Studio, and it's https://youtube.com/UCBQG-BMJUFFLQ-OKRC21_A. To help me afford the cost of going back to school, you can donate here at GoFundMe.com/manage. Help me achieve GoFundMe.com/manage/help-me-achieve-a-in-music-performance. And the other one is www.gofundme.com/f/help-me-dental-assistance-school-please. About the author. Emily is a phenomenal piano teacher with a 10-year career in this field and has over 22 years of piano experience to share with the students. Currently, she is just focused on piano teaching and has taken a break from learning more content about piano through private lessons. However, she continued to educate herself in piano-related subjects through books, podcasts, Josh Wright's program, and through consistent piano practice. In general, Emily specializes in teaching classical and jazz styles of music, and she enjoys inspiring her students through her holistic approach in music education. Emily believes that everyone can be a pianist if they just have the right audience and guidance and tools for their education. Emily teaches piano and music theory, and this will soon be branching off into subjects, including more instruments and subjects like songwriting. Emily dreams to teach students worldwide in an out-of-this-world experience style of music pedagogy. She has been continuously passionate about music for 17 years, and she hopes to change the world with her music education and performances. Currently, Emily is a healthy 25-year-old with a great career in nursing and piano pedagogy. She hopes to have a husband in the future and to grow a big family. Emily is passionate about learning and personal growth, as she invests in getting educated in all sorts of education, such as massage therapy, dentistry, contemporary dance, music therapy and hairstyling, and psychiatry. Emily is also planning on studying music to get her PhD in the future, and she's working towards getting a Bachelor of Music at Redeemers University, Master of Music for Music Therapy at Wilfrid Laurier University, and PhD in Music at another school or at BYU. Emily has a big passion for raising a better next generation of children who are well educated and hold a huge sense of responsibility in their lifetime. Emily enjoys working with seniors and helping them live prosperously and healthily while working well with young developing minded children. For more information, go to ebusiness3078.wixsite.com or www.ebusiness3078.wixsite.com/studio. Thank you for reading.